Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Reborn Mantis, devouring flesh and blood to start infinite evolution. Chapter 81. Besides, could it be that Lu Qing conquered another lair? Sure enough, this messenger mantis is more straightforward. Queen, let the 7 battalions move directly to the Holy Land. There is too much territory to occupy. The queen stood up tremblingly. Say, make it clear. Actually, the territory is getting bigger again. Not only did the golden armored beetle flee, but the territory of the 3-tailed scorpion has also been taken over. 3-tailed scorpion. To be honest, the mantis tribe's territory is still far away from the 3-tailed scorpion. There is almost no intersection. After all, there are 2 races in between. It is only possible to encounter it when entering the core area and the stone formation changes. Unexpectedly, even the 3-tailed scorpion and the golden armored beetle. How strong is Lu Qing? Okay, I get it. After sending away the messenger mantis, the queen was in trouble. 4 new territories have been added, and all of them are larger than the Mantis clan. If all the 7 battalions are brought back, it is estimated that they can barely bear 1 head. But in this case, wouldn't the place on the grassland be abandoned? The queen quickly made up her mind. If you give up, just give up. The 9 realms Holy Land with richer resources is a better place. No, it is now the 5 domains Holy Land, because 4 tribes have been driven out. In fact, the 9 domains Holy Land has become a domain Holy Land. Because Lu Qing turned around in a circle and slaughtered them all, not a single one was left. 8 Zerg races, tens of thousands of elites, provide quite objective experience. A conservative estimate could reach 50,000. In this way, coupled with previous accumulation, Lu Qing's expectations have been met. Bai Wei was almost dead from exhaustion. In these 4 days, it circled around the 9 realms Holy Land. In such a large place, walking around is definitely a laborious task. Lu Qing was still as strong as a dragon and a tiger, but Bai Wei was already leaning on the boulder. No, I really can't walk anymore. Anyway, the entire Holy Land is already the territory of the Mantis clan, and now it can rest wherever it wants. Lu Qing also found a place to rest for a while. Once you have enough experience, the next step is to find a place to upgrade. In 4 days, all 8 Zerg tribes were wiped out, especially the camouflage butterflies. There were actually 2 9th grade ones, and they couldn't hold on. Bai Hui Daozu scratched his belly. I was even afraid that you would kill the Mantis tribe. Destroyed. Of course this is a joke. Lu Qing also considered it when he first joined the Mantis clan. However, he has always had feelings. The Mantis tribe has always been kind to their own people, and feelings have been mixed up over time. If you have feelings, of course you can't kill them unless you give them a lot of experience. Joke. He didn't think about the first strike ashore. What are you talking about? Lu is so sentimental, how could he massacre his own people? White Ash. If I hadn't heard you tell me about the jungle mantis lord, I would have believed you. Lu Qing stood back up energetically. That's because Kai has been trying to mess with me, otherwise I wouldn't have killed it. Hearing this, Bai Wei suddenly became energetic. Come on, brother, please explain to me the meaning of the word, engage, in detail. You see, the single mantis is able to grasp the key points. That's what it means. Go back by yourself. There is a nice cave over there. I'm ready to advance. Bai Wei stood up suddenly. Are you going to break through to the 9th level? At the 8th level, there was already a batch. If this were the 9th grade, how strong would it be? Lu Qing thought for a moment. 9th grade. I have been saving for more than half a month. How can I only be promoted to 9th rank? However, there is no need to explain this. He responded vaguely. That's about it. Okay, let's go. Also, it's best not to let other mantises come over, so as not to accidentally hurt me when I advance. Mainly because I don't want to be disturbed. The last time you went from a low level to a secondary level, you still needed to transform into a form. This time, you have to upgrade from a secondary level to an advanced form. A conservative estimate would take about a month. He didn't want to be interrupted in the middle of the transformation. Bai Wei immediately agreed. Don't worry, Great Ancestor Lao Dang will definitely arrange this for you. It accompanied Lu Qing throughout the whole process to wipe out 8 tribes, and its contribution was so great that it ranked second in the history of the insect grassland. Of course, this kind of credit should be given a little credit. As soon as Bai Wei turned his head, he saw the great ancestor staring at him 20 meters away. Lao Dang, this word is new, it's the second time I heard it. The first time I was called by Lu Qing. It's so perverted and powerful that it can't be offended. Bai Wei actually dared to scream. After all, he was once the 9th grade, and his power still remains. Bai Wei withered instantly. It goes smoothly. Okay, it seems that I called you many times, so it goes smoothly. The great ancestor also knew that now was not the time to deal with this little brat, so he snorted coldly, "Leave here first, don't affect Lu Qing's advancement." After they left, Lu Qing immediately began to make arrangements. He occupied the ready-made cave and then dug out a huge boulder with his knife foot. Now the knife is so sharp that it can dig out rocks with no problem. After blocking the entrance, Lu Qing immediately brought up the panel. The energy accumulation is completed, do you want to advance? Single quote. Yes, single quote. Energy instantly began to fill the body. 9th level, an easy breakthrough. He glanced at the experience bar. Still full. Lu Qing felt relieved. Energy accumulation is complete, do you want to advance? Single quote. Tip. After the advancement, the host will reach the advanced form and the system will automatically upgrade. Single quote. Do you want to advance? Single quote. Yes, start the advancement. Single quote. The energy body instantly surged out of the body and formed a substance, completely wrapping Lu Qing. Then, he gradually fell asleep in comfort. In 4 days, 16 waves of messengers. The queen gradually became numb. 8 of the 9 clans were destroyed. As of today, only they are left of the 9 clans in the 9 domains Holy Land. The territory has expanded tenfold in an instant. In the future, all resources will belong to the Mantis clan. There is really no way to be weak. As for the remnants of other Zergs, it is definitely impossible to kill them all. After all, there are so many that it is impossible to count them. But what is certain is that within 100 years, the 8 Zergs will not be able to rise, and may even perish in the passage of time. Guard. All of them are the Mantis clan's territory. Every resource point belongs to the Mantis clan. Why do they need to be guarded? Just count them and harvest them every once in a while. Is the glory of the Mantis clan realized? So easy. It's like a dream. To unify the insect-singing grassland, only one, Lu Qing, is needed. The queen is a little overwhelmed by the fact that the entire insect-singing grassland was unified in one go. She must meet the great hero. The queen immediately rushed to the Holy Land. However, she was informed by the great ancestor when she arrived. Lu Qing is about to break through to the 9th rank. The 8th rank is already invincible in the insect-singing grassland, but now he is going to be promoted to the 9th rank. Should she consider abdicating and letting others take over? The queen felt that it was necessary to seriously consider it. Queen, what should we do next? The great ancestor asked about the next matters. Now the 9 regions Holy Land has become the territory of the Mantis. The resources here are so abundant that the whole tribe cannot consume them all. But we can't really move the whole tribe in. The queen has already thought about the arrangements in this regard. The capital cannot be without mantises stationed. After all, it is the witness of the glory of our Mantis civilization. I can lead a large camp to be stationed in the capital, and then only the 4 most important camps will be left in the 4 directions, and the remaining camps will all enter the Holy Land. Then arrange for the adult mantises with lower strength to carry resources and transport them to each camp. After the situation stabilizes, let the camp attack the remaining forces of each tribe, so that we can train the mantis soldiers and eliminate the forces of other Zergs. There must also be a certain competition in the allocation of resources to avoid lying flat. The queen told the great ancestor about the arrangements in an orderly manner. The great ancestor gave full affirmation. As expected of the queen of our tribe, this arrangement is perfect. If Lu Qing were here, he would definitely say that the great ancestor had never seen the world. No matter how many resources there are, in his high-level martial arts world, it is definitely too much. 6 days passed in a flash. During these 6 days, the Mantis clan has basically made adjustments according to the queen's arrangements. The 7 camps and elite mantises have all been adjusted. The entire tribe seems to be full of vitality and vigor. At night, the queen, the great ancestor, Byway and other high-quality mantises all came to the core area. The core area of the Holy Land can be entered every few days. Because the structure in the core is constantly changing, it needs to come out within a day, otherwise it will not be able to come out once it is closed, and even the body will not be found when it is opened next time. There are no resources in the core area, but it hides a secret. It is said that once the secret of the core area is cracked, unimaginable benefits will be obtained. It is precisely because of this that every time it is opened, 10 mantises will enter. Before, other Zergs entered at the same time, so fighting was inevitable. Now that the 8 tribes have been destroyed or fled, there is no threat of fighting in the core. Without fighting, it is easier to crack the secrets in the core, so the Queen and the Great Ancestor decided to enter the core area together to see if they can find out any clues. It would be best if we could know what secrets are hidden in the core, but it doesn't matter if we can't, because the current resources are inexhaustible anyway. The moonlight shone on the stone wall from the cracks in the stone. The stone wall that seemed stable just now began to move. In just a few breaths, a passage appeared. The mantises that had been prepared for a long time stepped into it. The core area is very complicated. It is like a maze. And there is no light, it is in complete darkness. And because each appearance is very different, they need to spend a lot of time to enter the place where the secret is. But because there are no other Zergs entering, they can focus on searching without vigilance. The 10 mantises in the dark finally came to the core after searching around. This is a very wide space. Mantises can see in the dark, but there are great limitations. Byway ejected his blade foot, and a firefly was released. This firefly looked ordinary, but it was a quasi-low-level 6th grade strength. After it took off, the airbag on its butt began to expand rapidly. Then the fluorescence came out of the airbag. Under the illumination of the fluorescence, everything in the entire cave was revealed. There was a huge 3-meter-high stone pillar in the middle, with various symbols on it. There were also mysterious symbols carved on the ground. These symbols seemed to have some rules, but with the current intelligence of the Mantis tribe, they could not find the rules. The queen stretched out her blade foot and gently stroked the symbols on the ground. What are these? Could they be the legendary words? After a brief pause, the great ancestor transmitted his voice. It is very likely. Legend has it that these were left by the ancient insect gods. Legend has it that the ancient insect gods were not individuals but a group. They have a unique civilization and powerful strength. Insect singing grassland. A group of golden-armored longhorn beetles were eating grass leisurely. Under Lu Qing's attack, the longhorn beetles were the fastest, so they were also the strongest among the remaining forces. Just when the longhorn beetles were leisurely, they didn't know that danger had come. Suddenly, the weeds shook, and the sky seemed to darken instantly. A golden-armored longhorn beetle looked up and was almost scared to death. In midair, a centipede with its body upright was looking down at them. The body length of this centipede was more than 20 meters. The terrifying eyes were staring at the group of longhorn beetles coldly. Run! The first one to see and react was about to turn around and run. But the next second, a mouthful of green liquid was sprayed on the back of the golden-armored longhorn beetle. The defensive armor of the golden-armored longhorn beetle, which was second only to the beetle, seemed to have no effect after touching the green liquid and was penetrated into it, and then the golden-armored longhorn beetle stood up for the rest of its life. The giant centipede twisted its body slightly and surrounded all the remaining golden-armored longhorn beetles. A cold voice echoed in the head of the golden-armored longhorn beetle. Where are the ancient ruins? The golden-armored longhorn beetle was stunned. You want to ask where the grass smells the best, I will answer immediately. You want to ask what ruins? What is that, can it be eaten? The head of the golden-armored longhorn beetle swayed, and the whip on its head swayed synchronously. What is a relic? We don't know. The giant centipede has no patience. Each of its 100 legs is as sharp as a spear. With a slight movement, it fell like a rain of bullets. More than 20 golden-armored longhorn beetles were instantly pierced through the heart. The huge mouth opened and closed and swallowed a golden-armored longhorn beetle into its stomach. You should know that there are also 6th-grade longhorn beetles here, with a body length of 3 meters. This bite, but it fits the huge mouth of the centipede perfectly. After the crisp sound, there was a little more coldness in the centipede's voice transmission. In ancient legends, there must be an ancient relic in this grassland. If you don't tell me, then you will all become my food. The huge mouth opened and closed, like a bottomless black hole. They had no doubt that if they didn't say something, they would be beaten again. The golden-armored longhorn beetles were still afraid of death. In order to survive, their brains worked frantically. One of the 5th-grade longhorn beetles first thought of the Holy Land. It transmitted without hesitation, "Centipede King, I know, I know." The golden-armored longhorn beetle's survival rules: as long as their lives are threatened, it is always right to call the king. Oh, the centipede's head immediately turned to it. If I say it, can you let me go? It's always right to negotiate the conditions first. After all, the Zerg don't beat around the bush, most of them keep their promises. Centipede agreed without hesitation. Yes, as long as you can tell me the clues to the ancient ruins, I will let you leave safely. The day after receiving the reply, Newton felt that his life was stable. We have a place here called the Nine Realms Holy Land. There are many resources in the Holy Land. There are many legends and secrets there. It should be the ancient ruins you are looking for. In addition, that place was occupied by a group of powerful praying mantises. The praying mantises were very powerful, and all 8 insect races were driven to extinction by them. King Centipede, if you go, be careful. Centipede's message came immediately. Mantis, but an advanced form of mantis. The golden-armored beetle nodded immediately. Yes, it is an advanced form, otherwise our 9th-level king would not have been killed instantly. You must know that our king has been in the Nine Realms Holy Land for 30 years. He is so famous that no insect dares to offend him, but one of them he was attacked by mantis, but he didn't survive a single move. It was a 5th-grade golden-armored beetle, but it only knew that its 9th-grade king had been hacked to death instantly. What is the advanced form of someone who can hack to death at the 9th level? Centipede really believes it. He thought secretly, I didn't expect that there could be advanced forms of Zerg in this grassland. But no problem. No insect can stop him from finding ancient ruins. Mantis. I have never seen an advanced form of praying mantis. The other golden-armored beetles who reacted saw that they had been robbed of the opportunity, and one by one they began to take the initiative to point out the direction. Go this way. Yes, that's the direction of the hill. Then keep walking in that direction. You can get there in 10 days. I'll take you there, I just ask you to spare my life. You have to be involved to survive. I can carry one of your legs, so you can save some energy. The centipede indeed gave it a leg. But it didn't catch it and was stabbed to the core. The auxiliary feet fell like a hail of bullets, and all the remaining points were harvested. Then just like eating snacks, one bite at a time. The 5th-grade golden-armored beetle that first transmitted the message was naturally no exception. You are not trustworthy. Centipede responded instantly, we centipede never know what credit is. Then he swallowed it into his stomach. After eating these small snacks, the centipede immediately began to crawl towards the hill. Its 100 legs moved backwards in an extremely rhythmic manner, and it was very fast, and it had reached the hill in just a few seconds. Then it started to move quickly in this direction according to the information provided by the golden-armored beetles. The golden-armored longhorned beetle said it would take 10 days, that's their speed. For the centipede, the Holy Land was found in just 1 day. After seeing the Holy Land, Centipede instantly felt happy. After 10 years of searching, I finally found it. It crawled over impatiently. After seeing a hole, he went in. Its body is thick and long, and the hole is somewhat crowded. But it doesn't matter. As long as you enter the ruins, it is normal to experience some hardship. But within a few minutes of getting in, it came out butt first. The Holy Land of the 9 tribes is extremely complex. If there is no creature familiar with the terrain to guide the way, just that branch of the road can lead to collapse. At first, Lu Qing had his great ancestor to guide him and it took him a long time to figure it out. After the centipede was eaten, it decided to look for creatures to guide the way. It happened that a little praying mantis came out not far away. It was about to step forward and capture it, but found that the little mantis was very naughty and shrank back. After passing, there is still the shadow of the little praying mantis. The ruins are right in front of you, but you can't enter. The impatient centipede had an idea. He got in again and dug in with his sharp feet. But this ruin is so huge, it's like a mountain. If you want to dig in, it's better to catch a few other zerg. After denying it in its heart, it thought of another idea. The ruins are a huge circle, but only a few dozen meters high. Wouldn't it be enough to just climb up and then cut a hole from the top? Save time and effort. Clever. I'm so smart. After the centipede made up its mind, it quickly climbed up. Sure enough, the height of the top was not very undulating, and there were cracks and gaps everywhere. With increased confidence, Centipede ran at full speed towards the central area. There was a tornado visible not far away. The tornado soared into the sky, but only a slight wind could be felt around it. This made Centipede think that the tornado had no power. What's more, its centipedes are not just decorations. The strong grip is enough to deal with small tornadoes. So it climbed in without hesitation. The next second, the centipede's centipede became a decoration, and it was swept into the air by the irresistible force. As the tornado swirls, the centipede rises higher. A big centipede came outside the Holy Land. It's so big. The little mantis opened its two small knife feet vigorously. Because it was indescribable, it drew a line on the ground. Seeing such long lines, the adult mantises were also frightened. They organized a few brave mantises to go outside to see what was going on. As soon as I went out, I saw a centipede being swept into the air. There really is such a big centipede. Isn't this the legendary advanced form? It's very possible, otherwise how could he be so big? The tornado may not be able to damage it. Let's report it to the queen first. The queen is in the core area and won't be able to come out until tomorrow morning. Forget it. While the centipede is being swept away, quickly notify the brothers not to go out, and resource delivery will also be temporarily stopped. Right. Inside the cave, the energy is transformed into red substance. It enveloped Lu Qing like an egg. Half a month has passed. This egg has grown from the previous 5 meters to about 10 meters. The originally spacious cave space was somewhat insufficient. Fortunately, this egg stopped growing and its color gradually became lighter. The Mantis Queen and others did not crack the secret of the Holy Land because there was no threat from other people. After they came out lost, they got news about the centipede. The queen was shocked. Maybe it's an advanced form. The centipede suffered a lot, but was not angry at all. The ancient ruins are indeed extraordinary. This also shows that the ruins can still function. You've come to the right place. It caught several beetles. It's not that there are no others to catch, it's that only this kind of golden-armored beetle is willing to lead the way. Under coercion, this 7th-grade golden-armored beetle still brought the centipede into the Holy Land. The inner space was much wider, and centipede successfully reached a resource point. It saw the mantis escaping. The centipede spurted out a mouthful of venom, and a dozen less powerful mantises were hit, and then died stiffly. Centipedes are very poisonous and will die within a short period of time if they are even slightly contaminated. All the remaining mantises got into the passage. The terrain here is still extremely difficult for centipedes with exaggerated body lengths to pursue. It was not in the mood to chase a group of praying mantises, and just let the beetle continue to lead the way, approaching the core area. Seeing how fierce the centipede was, the golden-armored longhorned beetle couldn't help but think twice. The core area of the 9 Realms Holy Land can be approached from all directions, but these golden-armored beetles lead the centipedes to the Mantis tribe's lair. So the Mantis tribe that had not had time to evacuate were blocked by the centipede in the Mantis lair. The queen saw the terrifying-looking centipede with her own eyes, and her heart instantly dropped. It will take time to evacuate. We are unable to resist the centipede. There was a hint of despair in the queen's voice. The Mantis tribe had just recovered, but they didn't expect to encounter a centipede, an advanced form of centipede, just a few days after they recovered. There is no possibility of resistance at the lower level against the advanced form. Especially since there is a new group of young mantises with top qualifications arriving in the nest. These larval mantises are the most promising offspring of the entire Mantis clan, and must not suffer losses here, otherwise, the future potential of the Mantis clan will be greatly weakened. The queen turned around in despair. Centipede kills a large number of mantises instantly. At this moment, a voice came from its side. Queen, take these baby mantises away. Turning around, he saw that it was the great ancestor who was transmitting the message. The great ancestor raised his head and stretched out 2 almost rusty blades. Because it got stuck, it stretched out its auxiliary legs to pop out the blade legs. That's an advanced form of centipede, Grand Ancestor, you. The Great Ancestor's sword moved horizontally. I have been in the 9th level for 17 years, and I have never really used a sword. Today, let me use my lower level body, like the Ancestor warriors, to fearlessly challenge the high level form. The Queen was stunned for a moment. Is this still the most cowardly 9th grade mantis in history? Is this still the Great Ancestor who shows off and brags all day long? Let's go, I may not be able to delay it for long. By the way, maybe you don't know, but I am also a mantis who has awakened my fighting talent. Does the Great Ancestor have fighting talent? There is a slight possibility of awakening talents after the 2nd level. The Queen has never known about it for so many years because the Great Ancestor has never mentioned it. My talent is very strong, but it's a bit life-consuming. Take them away quickly. Burning blood. The Great Ancestor's sound transmission was suddenly interrupted, and then its eyes instantly turned insect blood green. A bright green color appears at the base of its blade. The bright red spread quickly, but in an instant the dark cyan blade turned into blood green. The green blood kept rolling in the blade's foot, and each time it rolled, the blade's foot grew larger. After a few breaths, the Great Ancestor's sword foot had reached about 5 meters. Combat talent. Burning blood. At the cost of blood, the full potential is stimulated, and the mantis dies after using it. The Queen took a few steps back in surprise. The Great Ancestor is so strong at this moment. It seems to feel the same strength as the 8th grade Lu Qing. The Great Ancestor looked at the Queen with his blood-green eyes. Fengfen, I will protect you once as a father. The Queen was beyond surprised. The Mantis tribe has no concept of father. Raised in groups from birth. The mother may be known, but the father generally does not care. The pink powder was obtained by her mother, the former queen, and only the two of them knew about it. But now, Bai Wei on the side grabbed the queen's sword foot. Quick, evacuate. It didn't have time to think about anything, as the larva of the mantis in the white-gray tissue began to evacuate. When withdrawing from the nest, the queen couldn't help but look back at the Great Ancestor. That majestic figure covered in blood and green, is he really his father? The Great Ancestor's strength with his talent turned on has reached its peak. The mantis disease was instantly dispelled. It possesses the power that only occurs once in this life, and its self-confidence is also growing at the same time. The two swords crossed the chest. The glory of the Ancestors' warriors shines on me, and I protect the foundation of our clan at the cost of my life. The two swords separated and drew two green lights. A fight to the death. The centipede had sensed the abnormality, and it spit out the mantis it had swallowed, and looked coldly at the buff-filled Great Ancestor. 2nd level peak. It's interesting. It opens and closes its mouthparts and spits out venom. The Great Ancestor's wings flashed, and he had already risen into the air while dodging. For a centipede with a body length of more than 20 meters, there is no advantage in the air at a resource point with a height of only a dozen meters. After missing a hit, it suddenly straightened up, swung its 5 pairs of legs, and stabbed at the Great Ancestor's body like spears. The Great Ancestor's double swords started to resist with green light. However, the 9th level peak is only the 2nd level. How can it block the existence of the advanced form? In just one round, there were already 7 more holes in its body. With the talent's blood-burning ability turned on, it feels no pain. The swords are still very stable. Not bad. You are the strongest among all the secondary levels, but it is not enough. The centipede sprayed a mouthful of venom on its secondary foot. It's not self-mutilation, but poison quenching. This time, it only takes one hit and you'll be dead. The red eggshell suddenly burst. A huge mantis stretched out its body. Lu Qing looked around at his blade feet. Proportionally, it was still huge. The barbs on the blade feet had been completely connected, forming a saw-like attack structure. The previous red had turned into light purple. Lu Qing called up his own panel. Race: high-level mantis. Form: primary void harvester, 16,735 hundred-thousandths. Skills: void severance, evolvable, strength increased by 300%, with void strike. Void crossing, evolvable, use the power of the void to move, movement speed 300%. Talent: concealment, hide your body and breath according to the environment. Power of the Void. Gain a superficial understanding of the power of the Void and can apply it in battle. Tip. System upgrade completed. Advanced energy will be fully obtained. Single quote. Lu Qing looked at the instructions. Previously, if the difference was more than 3 grades, it would be impossible to obtain flesh and blood energy, but after this upgrade, the disadvantage of not being able to obtain energy due to grade differences has been eliminated. In other words, even if you absorb a low-grade 1-grade flesh worm, you will gain experience, but these low-grade energies may decay more seriously after being converted into the energy required by Lu Qing. It's good news after all. As long as you swallow, you can be strengthened. A little bit adds up to a lot, and there is always a slower way to upgrade. In terms of size, it has now skyrocketed to 10 meters. His big knife foot is still as powerful as ever. Lu Qing gently shook the knife foot, and a deep mark was cut out of the cave. I have upgraded myself and my system, so I should say hello to those little mantises, then leave here and find a more suitable place to continue my upgrade. Lu Qing slashed with a knife, and the boulder was split open. However, my body has grown rapidly, and the spacious passage before has become smaller. Lu Qing can only swing his blade to chop off the stones blocking the way. Now he has great strength and sharper blades, and there is almost no difference between chopping stones and chopping weeds. The great ancestor was hit 5 times by the poisoned secondary legs. However, its blood-burning talent can have a certain degree of resistance to poison when it bursts, so it did not die on the spot. The centipede was angry. His own venom can't kill a second-level mantis. Is this okay? It swept its tail, and the centipede tail, like a huge blade, hit the great ancestor directly. If it was hit, the body would definitely be separated. At this time, the great ancestor had made up his mind to die. There is a time for burning blood, and there is no extra time to dodge blindly. It did not dodge or evade, and the green color on its body reached its peak. Hard attack. Yes, hard attack. Under the huge difference in strength and natural weapons, the double blade feet broke instantly, and a terrible wound was split on the chest, and the beating energy core was clearly visible. A small gap appeared on the tail of the centipede. It was insignificant, but it made the centipede's anger reach its peak. The ancestor fell to the ground. It could feel the dissipation of power and life. However, when it saw the empty nest, it lay down easily. Ha ha ha. I didn't expect that my ancestor could also cut a little gap in the advanced form of the centipede with his old body. It's worth it. It's worth it. The centipede stood up straight and stared at the ancestor on the ground coldly. At this moment, it felt that its advanced form had suffered a great humiliation. Go to hell. The centipede's secondary legs came all over the sky, trying to pierce it into a sieve. Follow up. Those behind. Bai Wei covered the rear of the young mantises, constantly urging them to speed up. The queen on the side seemed to have lost her soul, flying forward mechanically. Queen, the centipede is coming fiercely. I'm afraid the great ancestor can't hold on for long. You hurry up and urge the ones in front to fly faster. The queen came to her senses, turned around and looked at the direction of escape, and then quickly flew to the front of the team. Faster, don't let the great ancestor's blood flow in vain. The speed of this group of young mantises is just like that, they can't go faster even if they want to. We have been flying very hard, but we just can't fly faster. The group of young mantises are also anxious. If only the great hero Lu Qing was here. He will definitely be able to drive away the big centipede. Yes, the great hero Lu Qing is so powerful. Isn't it easy to deal with a centipede? The stories of Lu Qing's bravery are all in the mantis tribe, and these young mantises also regard Lu Qing as their idol. In their eyes, Lu Qing is the most powerful mantis in the world, second only to the mantis god they believe in. What little centipede, it's just a meal in front of Lu Qing. After hearing the voice transmission of these young bodies, the queen smiled bitterly in her heart. Even if Lu Qing advances, he is only a 9th grade. You should know that the centipede is a high-level existence. 1 level difference, a world of difference. They don't understand. The escort Bai Wei caught up. Hey, this is the disaster of our mantis clan, Lu Qing can't stop it. Although he is very powerful, he can't compete with the high-level form. Wait until you grow up and understand. Fly faster. But the group of young bodies refused. Lu Qing is their idol, the most powerful existence in the world. A young mantis held up his neck. Lu Qing, the great hero, can definitely defeat the big centipede. Bai Wei is also a straightforward person. Why don't you understand? That's the advanced form. Do you know the advanced form? I don't care. Hero Lu Qing can defeat the giant centipede. It looks like it's useless no matter how much it talks. Hero Lu Qing is the best in the world. Bai Wei was helpless. Just as he was about to continue urging, there were bursts of noises coming from the front. That was the sound of gravel hitting. There's something going on ahead. It quickly rushed to the front, stretched out its 2-blade feet, and stopped all the young mantises. These little guys fell to the ground in pieces. The queen who stopped was also very nervous. Bai Wei asked, could it be that the centipede has gone around to the front? The queen felt a little sad. If it was really the centipede that went around to the front, then the ancestor had already. They looked at the passage ahead nervously. Suddenly, a huge purple object smashed the stone wall and poked out. Blade feet. Is it a mantis? Then Lu Qing appeared. He changed so much that the queen and others didn't recognize him. They all shut down as they looked at the 10-meter-tall mantis. Oh, what a coincidence. Or did they know I was coming out and came to greet me? The appearance changed, but the voice transmission did not change. That lazy and somewhat teasing voice transmission, they were too familiar. Bai Wei said uncertainly, Lu Qing. Lu Qing came over and looked down at Bai Wei, who was more than 4 meters tall. It's you, Master Lu. I can't be wrong. Queen. Ah. It's really Lu Qing. It is not a secret that he has advanced to the 9th level, almost every mantis knows about it. But now I see you. 10 meters in height, 13 meters in length, is this 9th grade? Bai Wei raised his head and looked at Lu Qing's red eyes. Master Lu, you are not the 9th grade, are you? It took you a long time to finally say something. What's the 9th rank? After half a month, I'm going to be promoted to the 9th rank. Who are you looking down on? It's been half a month since I was 9th grade, but I still look down on you. Bai Wei, if I could advance at this speed, I could wake up from my dreams with a smile, okay. You won't be a senior. Lu Qing had no choice but to answer, I've said too much. How about the advanced form? Is it powerful? The queen was surprised and delighted. What's surprising is that the speed of advancement is simply outrageous. All things considered, he was only at the 8th level a month ago. Unexpectedly, it is now in an advanced form. Fortunately, the Mantis tribe is saved. God bless our Mantis tribe. Lu Qing has actually reached an advanced form, now we are saved. Lu Qing was a little confused. What's going on? Bai Wei was already stuttering and couldn't express clearly. The queen said a few words quickly. A centipede has invaded the Holy Land, and the great ancestor is resisting. The centipede can make the queen and Bai Wei escape. Could it be some kind of 9th grade? The queen added, advanced form of centipede. Lu Qing was immediately interested. I have just entered the advanced form and have experience delivering food to my door. This is a good thing. Lu Qing quickly arrived at the resource point. Sure enough, I saw a centipede. This advanced form of centipede is like a spear, stabbing at the great ancestor crazily. The centipede seemed to have sensed a truly powerful existence. It stopped moving and looked straight in the direction of Lu Qing. When it saw that Lu Qing was actually a high-level mantis, it was stunned for a moment. I didn't expect that a place like the grassland with such scarce resources could actually raise a high-level mantis. It surprised me. For the 2nd-level insect race, the insect grassland is definitely a place with rich resources, but it is almost impossible to advance to a high-level form here. It thought Lu Qing was a native grassland mantis. It was looking at Lu Qing, and Lu Qing was also looking at it. The difference was that Lu Qing was looking at its information. Race: centipede. Form: primary thunderfire poison insect. Talent: toxin enhancement, can release poisonous. Thunderfire awakening thunderfire talent, special guiding action required. No skills, but dual talents. And it's thunderfire. What is thunderfire? Lu Qing didn't know, but it felt that it should be very strong. The 2-blade feet bounced open, purple lingering, as if some kind of power was wandering in the blade feet. Void power. Lu Qing can only exert a little void power now. This point can greatly increase his speed. From a Zerg that was not good at flying before, he can crush most of the flying Zerg with one leap. Once the flying skill was activated, Lu Qing's shadow remained in place, and he rushed straight to the centipede at an extremely terrifying speed. Lu Qing's plan was very simple. The thunder and fire talent should be very powerful, but he can completely prevent it from being used. The centipede was prepared. It can capture Lu Qing's super fast figure, but it can't make a large movement immediately. In this lightning and flint, the centipede's 3 pairs of secondary legs pierced Lu Qing's figure. Lu Qing launched the attack skill, Void Severing, without hesitation. In an instant, the purple color of the blade foot reached its peak, emitting a faint purple light like fluorite. The blade foot chopped at the centipede's secondary legs normally. The void split was plain and simple, but extremely powerful. With the amplification of the void strike, this ordinary swing contained huge energy. The centipede just thought that this would be an ordinary attack. He even began to think about how to attack next. However, when the blade foot collided with its spear-like secondary foot, its sharp and solid secondary foot was instantly broken off like harvested weeds. 3 pairs of secondary feet, 6 spears, were inserted into the ground. The centipede, in pain, staggered back 100 meters. After temporarily escaping, it looked at the wound. The wound was smooth, showing the sharpness of the mantis blade foot. It's okay, only 6 legs were cut off. I still have 94 legs. It comforted itself. There is no way, there are too many legs. After forcing the centipede back, Lu Qing landed in front of the ancestor. The ancestor was full of holes. Green blood flowed out of the wound and then burned quickly. It looked like its whole body was emitting green flames. This was the talent of burning blood. Even if it was not injured, its blood would burn out. The great ancestor was already lying on the ground dying. The moment it saw Lu Qing, its compound eyes seemed to shine with an inexplicable light. Lu Qing. Lu Qing nodded, and his blade foot was inserted into the gravel on the side, without speaking. In order to buy time for the mantis larva, the great ancestor chose to sacrifice himself. Once the talent of burning blood is activated, there is no way to save it. What's more, its body has been stabbed to pieces. It used its life to prove that there are real heroes in the Zerg. Lu Qing was touched for a while. From the first meeting, the blade foot was placed on the other's neck. If it activated the burning blood for the dignity of the individual, it would be highly likely that he would not be able to beat it at that time. But the great ancestor was a coward. It even made Lu Qing think that this was the most cowardly 9th grade in history. I also bullied the other party several times. But I didn't expect that when the truly unavoidable disaster came, it would open up its once-in-a-lifetime talent without fear of death. Now I think about it. I'm really not a human. Although I'm not a human to begin with. The eyes of the great ancestor became extremely bright. It stared at Lu Qing closely, hooked Lu Qing's blade foot with its blade foot, and asked the question it wanted to know most. Lu Qing, you said me, am I fierce? Lu Qing said in a deep voice, using the secondary stage to fight against the advanced form, it's fierce, I've never seen such a brave mantis. Ha, cough, ha ha, I'm fierce. Its eyes dimmed a little. I know you covet my energy core, but I'm going to disappoint you. Its voice transmission speed was much faster, and its blade foot was also a little tighter. After burning blood, the energy core becomes waste. You should not eat it. Lu Qing. Okay. Also, Mantis Clan, Mantis Queen. You. The brilliance in his eyes completely disappeared, and the flames burning on his body were all extinguished. The blood is gone, it's dead. Lu Qing pulled his blade foot out of the ground and looked at the centipede that was poisoning its secondary foot. The law of the Zerg, the strong eat all. There is nothing to say about the death of the great ancestor. But, only the strong can eat all. Let's see who is the real strong. Purple lingered around the blade, and Lu Qing also launched a second wave of attack. The centipede also danced with dozens of poisoned legs and pounced fiercely. It had a large number of legs, and when it twisted its body, the forest of spears attacked. Lu Qing's unceremoniously drew a purple light. In an instant, 12 legs were cut off. The centipede twisted its waist in pain and swung its tail on the stone wall. Gravel flew. There were more than 80 centipedes left. Before it could catch its breath, Lu Qing had already attacked from the air. This time he opened 2 skills. With the blessing of the power of the void, more than a dozen afterimages appeared on the trajectory. The upright centipede was ready to spray venom to resist the attack of Lu Qing. However, it still underestimated the speed of the mantis. The venom passed through the afterimage. Before it made any other moves again, Lu Qing's two swords had already chopped down. The two knives were aimed at its head. The centipede tried to move away. Its head dodged, but its secondary legs could not. Lu Qing's blade legs were like a peeler, removing the burrs from the centipede from top to bottom. This knife directly cut off half of its secondary legs, making the centipede lose the ability to crawl, unless it worships the snake as its master and learns how to walk on its belly. The centipede lost half of its legs, and its body twisted into a ball in pain. The blade legs of this mantis are too sharp. If you don't use your own tricks, you will definitely have no chance of winning. Single quote. Little mantis, I will let you die under my thunder and fire today. Its body seemed to be electrified, making crackling sounds. Then its body stood up and bent into a question mark without a dot. Is this the guiding action of thunder and fire? Lu Qingfei was in the air, watching the other party vigilantly. He originally planned to kill the other party with a knife, leaving him no chance to guide the thunder and fire, but he only cut off half of his leg. Well, I'll see what tricks this thunder and fire is. The centipede's guidance was completed instantly, and its mouth opened and closed to spit out the energy core. After reaching the advanced form, some talents can allow the energy core to leave the body, so as to stimulate powerful power and achieve the effect of destroying the enemy. The centipede's thunder and fire talent is like this. After its energy core was spit out, it rotated rapidly, surrounded by a faint red flame, and the outer edge of the flame was accompanied by small lightning that kept jumping. The energy core jumped up and down, and the lightning gradually became thicker. Ha ha ha, baptism of thunder and fire, crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. Mantis, you can die under my thunder and fire, ah. Its voice stopped abruptly, because the energy core that was jumping up and down was swallowed by Lu Qing directly. Lu Qing, I didn't expect that there are Zerg who can voluntarily offer their energy cores while they are alive. Such a good thing, he can't refuse. So he scooped it up with his knife foot and stuffed it directly into his mouth. As long as it is energy, for Lu Qing who has a system, it will melt in his mouth. What thunder, what fire, it is the same after entering the mouth. Except for a little numbness and burning, it is no different from ordinary, secondary ones. No, more experience points. Get flesh and blood value plus 9,986 points. Single quote. 10,000 experience points. Needle does not poke. Good centipede. Knowing that I need experience points, it took the initiative to deliver it to my door. Such a simple centipede is really rare. Lu Qing thanked him sincerely. Burped, thank you, centipede. Watma is stupid. No, what's the situation? My energy core will burst out with huge energy after it is ejected. It only takes 3 seconds to spin to the extreme, and then burst out with powerful lightning and fire. No, you ate it as soon as I turned it. Eaten it. Of course, because its connection with the energy core was completely cut off, and even the slightest trace could not be sensed. It was as if the energy core was completely digested as soon as it entered the mantis's mouthparts. Ah, that's my energy core. The energy core contains 90% of my power. When fighting against an enemy, let alone eating it raw, even touching it will hurt you with lightning and fire. How come it's gone like this when it comes to him? Watma collapsed, swallowing the energy core raw, and not even leaving a residue. What kind of pervert is this? The key is that after eating it, he still said thank you to me without any problem. Do I need you to thank me? The centipede wanted to curse. Curse the mantis's 18 generations of ancestors. But its current size has not changed, but without the energy core, it can no longer use its strength, let alone the powerful energy of its advanced form. It is estimated that a second-level 8th grade Zerg can beat it unilaterally. It has lost its strength and its weight against the enemy. No matter how angry it is, it cannot change the result of its greatly reduced strength. Survive. Only by surviving and reproducing the energy core, and raising it for 100 or 80 years, will it have a chance to recover. So the centipede's eyes suddenly became clear. Ah, no need to thank me, no need to be polite, it's just an energy core, not a good thing, just like you like it. Without the support of powerful energy, its question mark shape cannot be maintained. After falling softly to the ground, it half straightened its body. If you like to eat energy cores, I will bring them to you next time I come. Flattery, too flattering. Bring it. Lu Qing's knife foot was inserted into the ground, and the blade rested on its head, like a guillotine that could fall at any time. Actually, I still like your rebellious look just now. I was just pretending, I'm actually very honest. Lu Qing's blade foot got stuck in its armor. Tell me, why did you come here? The centipede was very cooperative. Ruins, ancient ruins, as long as you can open the ruins, you can get huge resources and benefits. Ruins. That is the 9 domains holy land. No wonder it's so weird here. Lu Qing pondered for a while. How to open the ruins? I don't know. The blade foot got stuck a little deeper. It could already feel the sharp blade in death. I really don't know. The ruins need to be cracked. I just heard the legend about the ruins. As for how to crack it, I really don't know. The reason why it was looking for ancient ruins was because it was difficult to advance after evolving to a higher form, and only more and better resources could make it go further. Lu Qing said, "Okay, I won't ask any more." The centipede carefully transmitted the message. Then, can I leave? What are you thinking? I didn't say I wanted you to leave, did I? But I'm kind and can let you go. As for them, that depends on your strength. Lu Qing retracted his blade, dodged, and cut off its venom gland. It was the returning queen and Bai Wei and other mantises that flew in. The centipede twisted its body without hesitation and wanted to escape from here. It's just that more than half of its legs were chopped off, and its venom glands were cut off, so the speed was very slow. Seeing the centipede's weak appearance, the queen and Bai Wei knew that it had been severely injured by Lu Qing. The queen quickly showed her blade, cut it to death and avenged the great ancestor. The mantises bravely rushed forward and chopped at the centipede. It has extremely thick armor, but it also has soft flesh and soft armor. When it is strong, it can make the soft flesh and soft armor flawless, but now. In about 10 minutes, the centipede was chopped into 100 sections by the sword. Including the golden armored longhorn beetles that led the way were also chopped to pieces. Some mantises even started biting. The queen put away her blade. Turned to the great ancestor's body. The secondary leg gently stroked the wounds. Mantises don't cry, but the queen's eyes were full of moisture. Great ancestor, it will take another 7 days to open the Holy Land. Lu Qing, who had nothing to do for the past 7 days, stayed in the nest every day, being revered and worshipped by the young mantises. It was already the 6th day. The queen squatted beside Lu Qing and drove the young mantises aside. The energy core of the great ancestor, do you want it? Its blade feet held a dull 9th grade energy core. It thought Lu Qing loved energy cores and would take it without hesitation, but he didn't. Lu Qing shook his head. No, keep it as a souvenir. The queen said, and looked up at the tall Lu Qing. I want to pass the throne to you. I believe that under your leadership, our mantis tribe can usher in a new era of glory. Lu Qing was stunned. How can I, who is 10 meters tall, be a queen? No, our mantis tribe can only have a queen, right? I am a male. The queen said without any surprise. Some things can be changed. Our mantis tribe is constantly moving forward, and some old rules can also be abandoned. After all, many Zerg tribes have males as kings. Play for real. Lu Qing immediately refused. I don't have the idea of occupying the land as king, otherwise I wouldn't have come to the insect grassland. This is just a node in my journey, nothing more. He came to the insect grassland to find a better place to upgrade. If he really wanted to spend his days leisurely, Talon would be enough for him. Seeing Lu Qing's decisive refusal, the queen hesitated and said, You mean, you are leaving the insect grassland? Yes. Lu Qing made no secret. I will leave after the secret of the Holy Land is revealed. Where to go? I don't know. Go north. That's where the centipede comes from. You should find a good place there. The queen did not continue to speak through the message. It could see that Lu Qing was destined to leave, and he would leave soon. Some mantises are not destined to belong anywhere, they have their own pursuits. These are unstoppable. But, the queen raised her triangular head, and the pink wings on her back were shaking slightly. Lu Qing, you are very good, better than any mantis I have ever seen. Lu Qing had a bad feeling. If a female suddenly says that you are very good, she is either getting angry or about to get angry. Sure enough, the queen's pink wings gently leaned towards Lu Qing. You are so outstanding, it is really a pity to leave. How about, you leave the seed, and I will make our crystallization become the new king. I believe it can also bring a better future for our mantis tribe. Lu Qing stood up and spoke righteously. I regard you as my leader, but you actually want to have it with me. Ah, it doesn't matter, we mantis tribe don't care about that, we just want to. Don't even think about it. I, Lu, have already lost my ability to reproduce. You'd better go find other mantises. The queen was stunned for a moment and thought to herself, what a big deal, you just have a little happiness, I am willing to bear the pain and toil in the future, why are you reacting so bigly? Aren't all males lustful? Otherwise, how can we reproduce? How did it know that Lu Qing was no longer looking like a mantis? No, I think your mating is very healthy. It's not healthy at all. It's useless, it's just a decoration. Lu Qing spread his wings. By the way, I'm going to do something. As soon as he finished transmitting the message, he flapped his wings and immediately stirred up a gust of wind, and he left the place instantly. The wind blown out by his huge body almost made the queen fall. After stabilizing his figure, Lu Qing was nowhere to be seen. He said helplessly, why don't you do this? If you pay me some goods, you will die. If you don't want to be happy when you have happiness, you are really sick. Can't die, can't live. All mentally distorted. Today is the time for the core area of the Holy Land to be opened. After Lu Qing waited for several hours, the stone wall began to move slowly. After a while, a passage appeared. Bai Wei, who had already prepared, said via voice, after each change, the distance of the passage is not fixed, but it is not complicated. It will take some time to enter the real core area. Let's go. Bai Wei, Queen, Lu Qing and several 8th grade elites walked in. The passage was very spacious, and Lu Qing didn't feel crowded. Without competition from other Zerg races, there would naturally be no other surprises. After about 3 hours, we finally found the right path. This group of mantises successfully arrived at the core area. Bai Wei explained. There are some special symbols and some strange stone pillars in the Holy Land. I can't figure out what they mean. It is very difficult to decipher. As he spoke, everyone had already entered the core area. As soon as Lu Qing came in, he was stunned on the spot. What's the secret? Is it just a formation without a special code? Lu Qing comes from the world of high martial arts. There are also ancient formations in that world, but the level of research on them is not high. As one of the most outstanding talents in the Martial Arts Academy, Lu Qing also had the opportunity to study ancient formations. There are many categories of formations, and there are many effects that can be induced. It can be said that there are all kinds of things, no matter what you can't think of, there is no formation that cannot be involved. The formation characters in front of him were very complex and mysterious, even more mysterious than the ancient formations he had seen before. Based on the knowledge he had learned before, the only thing Lu Qing could do was to basically tell that this was a teleportation formation. Teleportation formation. In the world occupied by the Zerg alien beasts, a teleportation formation actually appeared. Could it be that the ancient Zerg or alien beasts were also very powerful and could create formations and use them? Or is it that a super powerful person has been here and left behind the formation? Lu Qing, are you also shocked by such a mysterious thing? It's normal. After all, I was more shocked than you when we first met. Hey, what are you doing? Lu Qing ignored Bai Wei and came directly to a stone pillar. The sword foot struck the stone pillar 3 times. He now has great strength, and with 3 taps, he turned the stone pillar into rubble. A round stone with a diameter of half a meter also fell to the ground. This stone has a fluorescent effect, delicate and round, as if there is air flowing in the stone. Formation stone. A stone that specifically provides huge energy for the formation. As long as the formation stone is placed on the eye of the formation can be activated. The reason why it is wrapped by the stone is that there is a strange energy field inside the formation stone that can attract the broken stones to gather. After a long time, a stone pillar is formed with the formation stone as the center. Bai Wei and the queen all looked at Lu Qing in amazement. This stone is so special that they instinctively guessed that this stone must have a huge connection with the secret of the Holy Land. This is too fast. The secret that we have not been able to crack for hundreds of years. You just came in and took out this magical stone. What is this? Lu Qing hooked the foot of the knife on the formation stone. Formation stone, here is a formation. They have no concept of formations, so they all looked at Lu Qing with curiosity and admiration. What is a formation? It can be simply understood as a mysterious formation that draws the energy of heaven and earth. When Lu Qing transmitted the message, he saw the center of the formation. As long as the formation stone is placed on the center of the formation, as long as the formation is not destroyed, it will be activated. But he didn't do that. This is a teleportation formation. But where to teleport to, whether it will be a place suitable for upgrading, and whether there is danger, these are all uncertain. Lu Qing thought about it and realized that the unknown is the most dangerous. He put the formation stone back. Principle plus creed. Don't take risks if you can. Just when Lu Qing was thinking about whether to withdraw, Bai Wei had come over. Since you are here, why not give it a try? Good idea. Lu Qing pulled Bai Wei to the formation stone. This is the formation stone. Just put it in there. Yes, that groove, the formation can be activated, and then you will be teleported to an unknown place. Bai Wei wondered, why me? Nonsense, you proposed it. If it wasn't you, then it was me. Bai Wei thought about it and said, forget it. If I am teleported to a place where there are no female mantises, I will be a mantis until I die. This awareness is really high. Lu Qing ignored it, but instead focused his eyes around the formation, hoping to find some other new clues. After searching for a while, Lu Qing indeed found some special marks on a stone wall. It looks like a painting. There are ripples, which should represent water. There are strange figures, representing small islands. If so, then the large area in the center should be a huge island surrounded by many small islands. So is this picture the destination of the teleportation? Other mantises also gathered around. This picture should be the starry sky, with so many stars. I think it's in the sea. After Lu Qing turned around and found no other clues, he said to the mantises, okay, let's leave. Lu Qing was still unsure where the teleportation array would teleport to. To be on the safe side, he finally decided to give up here temporarily and go to the north. After leaving the Holy Land, Lu Qing said goodbye. The queen watched Lu Qing leave reluctantly. Lu Qing's flying speed was very fast, at least 5 times faster than before. After taking off, he had passed through the grassland in less than a day. Behind the grassland was a mountain range. He took a special look and found that the mountain range was occupied by strange beasts, and they were a group of 3rd and 4th grade strange beasts, without any powerful existence. The alien beasts need to be swallowed whole to gain experience, so Lu Qing continued on his way with a lack of interest after eating a few. After passing through the mountains, there is a grassland, which gradually becomes sparse and turns into a desert. There is a kind of sandworm in the desert. It is huge and hidden in the sand, and its strength is all 2nd level. Anyway, they are just passing by, so Lu Qing harvested a wave and got 10,000 experience points. The desert is very vast, and Lu Qing flew for 10 days before finding an oasis. There is a group of 2nd-level alien beasts living in the oasis. These alien beasts rely on limited water sources and live a hard life. It can be imagined that Lu Qing needs to fly for 10 days at such a fast speed. This group of alien beasts may not be able to leave the desert for a month, and they are still not lost. When the water source of this oasis is exhausted, no matter how tenacious the vitality of the alien beasts is, they will be buried in the sand. Lu Qing ignored them and just landed to replenish some water. After seeing the existence of the high-level form, the group of alien beasts hid one by one and did not dare to disturb them. After that, Lu Qing continued to fly north. Every 1 or 2 days, there would be an oasis where tenacious beasts or insects live. After passing 5 or 6 oases, there was no more. Half a month later, Lu Qing had crossed the desert. The mountains blocked the spread of the desert. This mountain range was ruled by the Zerg sky poison bee. The queen of the sky poison bee was at the peak of the 2nd level 9th grade. Because of resource limitations, it was destined to be unable to reach a high level, and the queen dreamed of evolving to a high-level form. So Lu Qing absorbed it and indirectly helped it fulfill its lifelong dream. Continuing north, Lu Qing came to the seaside. The turbulent sea water was nothing. The problem was that the 100-meter giants that jumped out of the water made Lu Qing give up the idea of crossing the sea. He had no choice but to continue flying along the seaside to see if he could find a place suitable for his upgrade. He didn't find a place to upgrade, but he did gain a lot of experience. The resources on the seaside are very rich. In particular, a 5-meter-sized giant crab, a standard second-level 9th grade, can provide 600 experience. The energy required for the advanced form is completely different from that of the secondary form, so it is reasonable that the number becomes smaller after the conversion. Besides, 600 is not a small amount. Lu Qing started the sea hunting mode and could catch 3 or 5 every day. The experience bar is not slow to increase. The seashore has no end. After several months of sea hunting, Lu Qing finally filled up the experience bar. Now that creatures are given experience, there is naturally no need to suppress experience. Lu Qing chose to advance without hesitation. Race: high-level mantis. Form: medium void harvester, 6,732 millionths. Skills: void severance evolvable, strength increased by 500%, with void strike. Void crossing evolvable, uses the power of the void to move, movement speed 500%. Talent: stealth, hides body shape and breath according to the environment. Power of the void, has a superficial understanding of the power of the void, can be used in combat. The change in size is not that big, but the exaggerated thing is that the blade foot has become larger, reaching 15 meters. It can be imagined that a 10-meter-long mantis holding a 15-meter-long sword, whose legs would not tremble. In addition, the understanding of the power of the void has become more profound. This is also the main reason for the huge increase in strength and flight after the promotion. The experience value has soared from 500,000 to 2 million. Even if you try your best to catch crabs, you can get 3,000 to 5,000 experience points a day, but it will take at least 1 or 2 years to upgrade. 1 or 2 years, isn't this a pure waste of time? And it is not certain that crabs will crawl out. I don't know if the news of his advanced form at the seaside was passed on by the crabs, and the harvest has dropped sharply in recent times. Lu Qing can't dive, and he doesn't dare to fly freely on the sea. So he can only leave here. 4 months later, Lu Qing's biggest gain after wandering around was encountering a large group of imperial locusts. This group of locusts is stronger than the group of locusts in the insect grassland, with more numbers, more fierce and brutal, and not afraid of death, so he accepted the 300,000 experience points that hit him with tears. It is worth mentioning that Lu Qing found a swamp. There are strange beasts living in the swamp. The strange beasts here not only look strange, but also have poisonous flesh and blood. After eating a bite, he was deducted a little experience. Lu Qing was so angry that he threw away the corpse, cursed for 3 minutes, and then ran away without looking back. Finally, after trekking, he found that the end of this direction was also the sea. Lu Qing flew across diagonally. This continent has only rare advanced forms, and basically exists in legends. Or, this is not a continent, but a giant island. All the resources are here. If you want to go further, you can only accumulate day by day, or open the magic circle. If you want to grow, you need to constantly search over time on this big island. How much experience you can gain depends on luck. It is conservatively estimated that it will only advance again in 3 to 5 years. And as the experience points required for advancement increase, the time required may increase exponentially. Staying here and gaining experience based on luck is definitely not a good choice. Opening the magic circle represents the unknown and danger. Now there is no other choice. After Lu Qing thought about it, he made up his mind. He began to flap his wings and return towards the insect grassland. After flying for a month, Lu Qing saw a patch of pink from a distance. Peach forest. He couldn't help but think of his good brother Da Zhuang. I was passing by anyway, so I just went to see how the other person was doing. Lu Qing adjusted his direction slightly and then flew towards Taolin. Keep playing music, keep dancing. A fat mantis lies on the stone, and on the left is a group of trumpet bugs chirping crazily. On the right side, 3 peach worms are twisting, their plump bodies rising and falling to the rhythm of the trumpet worms. It's Da Zhuang. The resources here are quite good and very comfortable. After it was successfully promoted to the low-level 9th level, it became completely idle. You don't have to worry about eating and drinking, and it is already the only 9th level shop in Talon. Every day, you can find some fun for yourself by changing your tricks. As for going out, it had already had this idea, but when it thought that there might be lower-level Zerg and alien beasts outside, it backed down out of fear of death. Enjoyment is the right path. Just when he was enjoying the great joy, the sky suddenly became dark. Dazhuang looked up and saw a huge figure flying in the air. This size is probably no less than 10 meters. For Dazhuang, who is only over 2 meters tall, anything larger represents a huge risk. Not to mention a behemoth more than 10 meters tall. Stop bragging, please calm down. Then its plump body instantly became extremely flexible, and it turned over and hid behind the stone. The average second-level powerhouse wouldn't care about such a small place. This big guy should fly away. To its despair, however, it heard the sound of landing. Hearing the sound but not daring to look. It's cold, it's cold. Single quote. The sound of landing. My heart was in my throat. Grandpa, you definitely didn't come to Talon for extra meals. I am really afraid of what will happen. A clear and huge sound transmission came. The little fat man hiding behind the rock, come out. The big, fat body trembled. It's completely cold. Found. It's really terrible. Turning around to look, the group of trumpet bugs that were playing music jumped away and ran away. The dancing peach bug crawled up the nearest peach tree. Dazhuang trembled and stretched out his head. It's a lot of fun. There is music and dancing. Dazhuang will enjoy himself. Lu Qing almost laughed. The big, triangular head poked out. Before he could see clearly what was going on, a huge black shadow struck with an unrivaled strong wind. In an instant, the stone was cut in half. Her plump body was completely exposed. At this time, Dazhuang was trembling, but he felt a big knife flying past his head. The stone cracked instantly. How powerful it was and how sharp the blade was. Saberfoot may be of the same race. Dazhuang didn't dare to raise his head, and his fat body lay on the ground. Grandpa, please forgive me, I am also a mantis, we are the same race. If you are a female, I am willing to donate my high-quality seeds. I haven't seen it for more than a year, and it is even meaner and poorer than before. Lu Qing, finish the marriage, hurry up. His big, fat body shook like a sieve. Ah! Who wants that thing? It felt something was wrong, so it raised its head and took a peek. Huge body, huge blade feet, and handsome triangular head. It looks familiar. Chuan Yin also seems familiar. No, why does it look a bit like, to me? Call me Grandpa again and you won't need to be cut during mating. Dazhuang's eyes lit up. Boss, it's really you. Dazhuang got up from the ground, his fat belly trembling. You're back. Lu Qing laughed and said, I was passing by Talon and came here to take a look. I didn't expect you to enjoy it very much, singing and dancing. Dazhuang made a hey sound. Idle time is idle, let's have some fun. Boss, how did you become so big? How much strength do you have? You can't be at the 8th level. Lu Qing knelt down and looked at the plump little thing in front of him. Above the 2nd level, the advanced form, Void Reaper. Dazhuang looked extremely incredible. It turns out that above the secondary level is the advanced form. Do you all have titles? Hi, advanced form. Oh my god, I've been stuck in the 9th level for a year, and you're actually in advanced form. Mantis, you always have to make progress. The Zerg and alien beasts, who were originally trembling, heard that the Lord of Talon was actually chatting with the behemoth, and they all looked here curiously. Dazhuang yelled at these strange beasts and Zerg. This, my boss, Lu Qing, is the one who destroyed the previous Lord of Talon. Many alien beasts and Zerg tribe were suddenly stunned. It turned out to be him. It was strong enough before leaving. Unexpectedly, 1 year later, it has become stronger than they imagined. Soon the news of the explosion spread throughout Talon. Countless bugs and alien beasts came to watch from a distance. Dazhuang's words were full of envy. The boss is so cool and powerful. Lu Qing rested for a night in Talon and chatted with Dazhuang about his journey. Dazhuang was even more envious and yearning after hearing this. Boss, can you take me out for some adventure? Every day in Talon is full of enjoyment. I feel like I have sunk and everything is completely dark. Lu Qing has already considered this. The insect grassland has been ruled by the Mantis tribe. Even if there are other Zerg tribes that rebel, they can't make any waves. There is an excellent training ground, not to mention that the Mantis tribe has a complete promotion system. Once the strong one gets there, he should be able to reach the second level quickly. Okay, then I will take you to see the vast world. Hearing the boss's promise, Dazhuang's eyes lit up. After sunrise, they prepared to leave. Lu Qing glanced at Taolin. Don't you have to say hello to your friends? Dazhuang was quite transparent. No, they want me to leave as soon as possible. One big and one small then spread their wings and took off into the sky. The big one was slow enough, so it suggested, "Boss, how about I climb on your back? This way the speed will be much faster. Let its fat body crawl around on you." Lu Qing, don't even think about it. The deputy hooked the blade of the sword and started to accelerate while carrying it. The great rivers and mountains are at your feet, but Dazhuang has no intention of admiring them, because he is feeling a wave of deadly speed and passion while flying at extremely high speeds. Chapter 91. 10 days later, they had arrived at the insect grassland. The mantises saw Lu Qing return, and all surrounded him excitedly. "You are back, great. Lu Qing, the great hero, is back, go and inform the queen." Dazhuang looked at the circle of secondary mantises and fell into deep self-doubt. "Hey, who is this little guy? Little guy, how small?" Dazhuang stood up. "I am Lu Qing's good brother." However, no mantis paid attention to it. Lu Qing, a strong man in advanced form, can have such a weak brother. The queen came after hearing the news. "Lu Qing, you are back, great." Lu Qing greeted him. However, Dazhuang on the side was completely stunned. There are such beautiful females in the world. Pink wings, slender figure. The queen noticed Dazhuang. This little mantis. Lu Qing hooked it over. "My good brother, Dazhuang. It has good talent, so I want it to train in the insect grassland." The queen nodded. "Okay, our mantis clan has never been exclusive, not to mention that this is your brother." After Lu Qing explained Dazhuang's affairs, he directly explained his plan. "I came back this time mainly to see you, and secondly to open the teleportation array." It had been explained before, and they already knew that it was a teleportation array. The queen asked in surprise, "Didn't you say that the teleportation array was dangerous? Why? Don't teleport, just stay in the insect grassland, give birth to 100 nests of little mantises, and live happily." 100 nests. Looking at the queen who was looking at her, Lu Qing became more determined to teleport. "When will the core area be opened?" "The day after tomorrow." Dazhuang originally had an amazing appetite, and after coming to the resource-rich insect grassland, he completely let himself go. In just 2 days, he had fallen into a deep sleep due to eating, and it was obvious that he was going to advance to the secondary level. It just so happened that the core area was open today, which saved this guy from seeing him off. Under the queen's gaze, Lu Qing resolutely walked into the formation. The formation stone was embedded in the formation eye. The energy like magma flowed quickly in the formation. Lu Qing came to the circular teleportation platform in the central area. The dazzling golden light lit up on the teleportation platform. In an instant, everything was restored. Lu Qing just felt the dazzling golden light in front of him, and then his body lightened. When he came to his senses, he had come to a completely unfamiliar place. It was pitch black around, all hardened stones. Looking up, you can see the blue sky and white clouds. "Is this the bottom of the dead volcano?" Lu Qing spread his wings and flew out. It is indeed a dead volcano. Putting the teleportation array into the volcano is too creative. If the volcano becomes alive one day, won't it be directly teleported into the magma? After observation, Lu Qing can be sure that this is a large volcanic island. There is a complete ecosystem. If there is an ecosystem, there are naturally strange beasts and insects. Look, a seabird flew over the sky. The wingspan of this seabird reaches 15 meters. Its neck is very long, and its beak is extremely sharp, like a spear. The length of the neck and beak alone reaches 9 meters. Its total length is only about 13 meters. It folded its wings and landed steadily. Lu Qing turned on the stealth, and then checked the information of the seabird that landed on the boulder on the top of the mountain. Race: sea gunbird. Form: primary piercing spear. Talent: swiftness. It has a little understanding of the wind and can launch a surprise attack on prey at a faster flying speed. After Lu Qing saw the other party's information clearly, he was delighted. Advanced form. What a good place. The first one I encountered was an advanced form of seabird. This means that the resources here will be more abundant. Otherwise, how could an advanced form be nurtured? Lu Qing, who has not gained any experience in so many days, has green eyes. No one can stop my determination to eat birds. Lu Qing turned on the stealth and sneaked over. Stealth is definitely an excellent skill for assassination. Completely hiding its body and breath, it was extremely difficult to detect. In addition, the sea gunbird was very familiar with this place and relaxed its vigilance. So Lu Qing quietly touched the back of the sea gunbird. This bird has a very long neck and beak. It is probably good at flying on the sea surface to catch fish, and its combat power on land is very average. Lu Qing didn't even use his skills. Once he reached the right distance, he directly drew his sword. The blade foot chopped the opponent's neck accurately and quickly. However, it did not cut in half as expected, but the blade foot got stuck in the neck of the sea gunbird. It seems that during the evolution, the neck used as an extension weapon has become very strong. The sea gunbird was suddenly attacked by surprise, and it instinctively began to struggle. When it realized that the sneak attack was actually a zerg it had never seen before, it became even more panicked, flapping its wings and kicking Lu Qing's belly with its claws. Lu Qing's stuck blade foot exerted force and easily climbed onto the back of the sea gunbird. The other blade stabbed the sea gunbird's belly. The sea gunbird's neck was strong, but its belly had average defense. Every slash of the blade broke through the defense, and blood spurted out. As the red blood spurted out, the sea gunbird's struggle gradually decreased. In just a few minutes, the sea gunbird had completely collapsed to the ground, breathing out more than breathing in. Without the blessing of blood, the neck of the sea gunbird is no longer so strong. Lu Qing beheaded it and sent it to the west. The sea gunbird didn't know what species killed it until it died. Because there is no mantis here. After reaching the advanced form, the alien beast also needs a stronger heart to transport energy and blood, and their heart position has evolved an energy core suitable for them. Lu Qing ate a few mouthfuls of blood and flesh and found that the experience was low, and then he knew this. Dig out the energy core and eat it. Get experience value plus 13,965. 14,000. It's really a lot. The centipede gave less than 10,000 before, and the alien beasts here can actually give 14,000. Brush 1 or 200, and you can level up again. In order to prevent the emergence of super powerful races here, Lu Qing retracted his knife foot, hit his body again, and then began to go down the mountain slowly. This time he didn't rush to hunt, but took a rough look around this big island. Because he turned on the stealth, the process was very smooth. There are strange beasts on this big island, including seabirds, land animals, and zerg. Whether it is seabirds, land beasts or zerg, their main food source is sea fish. When Lu Qing was exploring the situation in the afternoon, he saw a zerg fisherman who caught a 10-meter-long fish. The big fish has no teeth, low attack power, and a lot of fat on its body. The most important thing is that this sea fish is also an advanced form, but it has no talent. It moves slowly in the water, has no attack power, and has no talent. Isn't this a meatworm level experience pack? It is precisely because of the nourishment of this fish that all other creatures on the island are extremely powerful. After this investigation, Lu Qing can basically confirm that there are several very strong creatures on this big island, but there are no super form creatures. No super form means that Lu Qing is not at risk of losing his life. Good news. Lu Qing's first target is the sea firefly. This is a kind of insect that is about 9 meters in size and can dive. This insect has a flat body, 2 2-meter spikes on its head, and its butt can spit fire. After entering the water, the fire-spraying butt acts like a torpedo nozzle to boost the effect. This also makes them very fast in the water, faster than most sea fish. And when on land, their main weapon is also fire. Race: sea firefly. Form: primary sea fire. Talent: fire control, has a certain perception of the fire element, and enhances the flame ability. Because they have to maintain flexibility, their defense is relatively average. For Lu Qing, who is good at lurking and assassinating, species with low defense have always been the primary target. Sea fireflies usually live together in groups of 5 to 10, and are a group of insects on the island. After turning on the stealth function, they immediately approached the fireflies. It was evening, and 6 fireflies were eating around a fat fish on the beach. The fat fish had holes all over its body, and the blood had long been drained. They ate very well, but they didn't know that danger was approaching quietly. When Lu Qing approached them by 10 meters, one of the fireflies seemed to sense something. It looked at where Lu Qing was, and then looked around. "Brother, do you feel something is wrong?" A firefly that was eating fat meat raised its greasy head. "Yes. Today's fat fish is particularly delicious. I mean the surrounding environment." "No, who dares to provoke us? Don't burn it to death. Don't be suspicious, just eat it quickly." The firefly was still a little worried. "We are not invincible, it's always right to be careful." "Forget it, I'll go over and take a look." "What a clever firefly. I can't not take you for a fight." Lu Qing dived to the side of the firefly. The firefly was very alert and carefully explored the surroundings. But it never dreamed that the enemy was right next to it. Lu Qing saw the right opportunity and slashed at its weak back. The firefly's back structure is connected by armor plates. Its armor plates are not very defensive. In addition, Lu Qing slashed the connection point, so this knife cut it in half. Green blood burst out, mixed with a highly corrosive fuel. "Enemy attack, enemy attack." It issued a reminder before dying. The remaining 5 turned back suddenly and saw the good brother who was cut off, and a purple knife that gradually disappeared in the sunset. "Ah, or Huo was chopped." "What chopped it? I didn't see it." "Stop talking nonsense, just spray him." 5 butts were aimed at the direction of the good brother, and 5 hot flames gushed out. In a few seconds, the body was burned to ashes. Lu Qing was furious. Watma hadn't taken out the energy core yet. The angry Lu Qing was quite brave. His blade instantly glowed purple. So these fireflies saw a big knife that appeared out of thin air. A 15-meter-long big knife. With 2 slashes, the 2 closest fireflies had been killed. The rest hurriedly turned around. If it spit fire again, it might destroy the energy core again. Lu Qing directly activated the flying skill, moving at an extremely fast speed, completing 2 consecutive slashes in an instant, and the silky small combo was completed in one go. The last one looked at the monster in front of him in horror. What kind of Zerg are you?" They had never left this island, and had seen very few Zergs, and they didn't know the existence of the Mantis Zerg. Lu Qing killed the opponent with 1 knife, and when he put away the knife, he didn't forget to let the opponent die clearly. Mantis. After killing the last one, Lu Qing skillfully began to take out the energy core. 6 sea fireflies, 5 advanced energy cores, 70,000 experience points. The experience bar that had been growing slowly before suddenly soared, and Lu Qing was in a much better mood. There was also a fat sea fish that had been eaten away by half. Race: fat sea fish. Form: primary plump and sweet. Talent: many offspring, laying 300 million eggs at a time. Lu Qing was stunned. It was amazing. It was so amazing. Laying 300 million eggs at a time, which was more than what I had when I was a human. The form was also amazing, directly plump and sweet. This special code was born to be eaten, and no matter how powerful the Zerg, sea fish, and alien beasts were, they couldn't eat it all. Lu Qing truly realized that being able to reproduce is also a kind of ability. Lu Qing took out its energy core and ate it. Get flesh value plus 3,468 points. More than 3,400 points. For this fat sea fish with poor mobility and poor attack power, it was really a lot. I don't have the ability to enter the sea, otherwise I can just give up hunting on land and jump into the sea to catch this kind of fat sea fish with amazing reproduction ability. One fish gives more than 3,000 experience points. With their swimming speed, it's easy to catch 100 fish a day, and it will take off directly. It will probably take 1 or 2 months to get the super form. Lu Qing sighed helplessly. When will he evolve to amphibious? Just when he was lamenting that he couldn't swim, 3 sea fireflies were staring blankly 100 meters away. He said he was a mantis. So powerful. The 6 sea fire brothers were wiped out so easily. He seemed to have discovered us. Lu Qing did discover them. 40,000 experience points for walking. For Lu Qing, who is extremely obsessed with experience, no opportunity can be missed. So he spread his wings and flew towards the 3 sea fireflies. The 3 sea fireflies were very smart. Without saying a word, he threw the sea fat fish and jumped into the sea with his butt spraying fire. After a few bubbles, it was completely gone. Lu Qing stood on the beach and angrily chopped his knife foot into the mud and sand. Mud and sand flew everywhere. Let's practice diving tomorrow. After absorbing the energy core of the sea fat fish, Lu Qing turned around. Accidentally discovered the nest of sea fireflies. Their nest is in an underground cave, which contains more than 30 high-level energy cores. Energy cores contain a huge amount of energy, and no species can digest them as soon as they are imported like Lu Qing. In addition, it is easier to hunt at the seaside, so sea fireflies always accumulate a large number of energy cores. More than 30 energy cores of sea fat fish, this must be at least 100,000 experience points. You can get 100,000 experience points by raiding the nest of sea fireflies. Lu Qing suddenly thought of a good idea. A group of sea fireflies is calculated as 5, and they catch 3 sea fat fish every day to fill their stomachs. Then they will produce 10,000 experience points of energy cores a day. If Lu Qing kills 5 sea fireflies, he can get 70,000 experience points at a time. If he doesn't kill them, but gets all the results of the 7 days of catching these 5 sea fireflies, that's also 70,000 experience points. If there are still stocks of these sea fireflies, it will be even more profitable. I can't swim and have almost no ability to catch them in the sea, so I can let the sea fireflies work for me. A group of sea fireflies gives 10,000 experience points a day, and there are at least 30 to 50 groups of sea fireflies on this small island. If they all work for me, I can be promoted in 3 or 4 days. I will be a super form in less than a month. In this case, why do I still fight and kill? It's more delicious to exploit insects. Sure enough, I became a capitalist after all. Lu Qing happily took this nest of energy cores into his mouth and gained 100,000 experience points. Looking at the experience slot that skyrocketed again, Lu Qing began to look for the next nest with satisfaction. After all, sea fireflies are insects and need to go ashore. The 3 fireflies that had escaped earlier saw that there was no sign of mantises on the shore, so they boldly went ashore. When they went ashore, they dragged a fat fish that they had caught. It's wishful thinking for an alien species to catch us. Ha ha ha, we just met a few of our own kind, and the news has spread. Don't even think about catching one, stupid mantis. Yes, if you can't beat us, can't you run away? Hee hee, there is no race on the entire island that is smarter than us. That's right, with our level of intelligence, our brains are 3 times bigger than the little mantises. They were very pleased with themselves and began to eat around the fat fish. They boasted about their intelligence while eating. As soon as there is a slight movement, jump into the sea immediately. The mantis can't swim and can only stare blankly on the shore. Ha ha ha, the knife stuck in the mud and the mantis staring blankly is really hilarious. Stupid mantis, playing with us. Playing with him until there is nothing left. It's just that the 6 of them died a bit tragically. Not tragically, this name is good, we will use it in the future. We will be the Sea Fire family in the future. We are full and it's dark, let's go back to sleep. Let's go. The 3 sea fireflies walked back to the nest with a step that didn't recognize any relatives. Then 3 roars came from the hollow. Who the hell stole the energy cores I saved? 23 energy cores. Come out, I promise not to kill you. Lu Qing took 4 nests. Each nest was very rewarding. The least experience points were 50,000 or 60,000, and the most was 100,000. The experience bar rose. This experience came too fast. Lu Qing was so happy that he was drunk. Even though it was dark, it couldn't stop him from moving forward towards experience. The nest of the sea fireflies was very perfunctory, with almost no cover, which might be related to their lack of natural enemies. Even though it was dark, it was relatively easy for Lu Qing to find it. There was one in front. He touched it. There were 4 sea fireflies sleeping in the cave. One of them was pressing on the energy core. Lu Qing jumped into the cave gently. The sea fireflies, who were sleeping soundly, didn't notice the invasion of the Zerg at all. How could I take it if it was pressing on the energy core? So Lu Qing touched the other party with his knife foot. Come on, worker bug, move aside. The sea firefly was still a little grumpy after getting up, and was about to curse as soon as it regained consciousness. But when it saw that it was a strange-looking big bug in front of it, it immediately reacted. Mantis, there really is a mantis. The other three were all awakened. Then they stared at each other for a second, and then fled like a rocket taking off. Just in time, Lu Qing swallowed the energy cores accumulated by the worker bugs with tears in his eyes. More than 70,000 experience points, really good. Look again. Did you chase it out? If you do, we'll run. Yes, the blade feet of this mantis are very powerful, we can't stand it. The 4 sea fireflies were ready to jump into the sea. It's out. Lu Qing flew out, then raised the blade feet and waved them. You guys continue to sleep, I'm leaving first. Goodbye. After saying that, he really spread his wings and left. Really leaving? Didn't they say that this mantis is very fierce? It killed the whole family of Haihuo without saying a word. I don't know. It looks very friendly. Should we go back to sleep? No, how can we sleep? Aren't you afraid that it will come back to kill us? It shouldn't be. The mantis was right next to us just now, and we were all asleep. It didn't do anything in that situation, so it shouldn't come back to kill us. Let's go back and take a look. As soon as he entered the cave. Sea firefly. Watma was stunned. Where are my energy cores? All gone. That mantis must have eaten them. Impossible. No insect race can eat more than 20 energy cores. Don't stop me, let me stab that mantis to death. The kind-hearted Lu Qing never raised his butcher knife to the sea fireflies again. He even kindly reminded them. The big knife mantis is coming. After a few seconds, 6 sea fireflies spewed fire. Only then did Lu Qing enter the cave and politely put all the energy cores into his mouth. After flying out, he told them very friendly. The big knife mantis is gone. He even gave a thoughtful reminder. Brothers, go back to sleep, after all, you still have to fish tomorrow. At midnight, the moon was high in the sky. Lu Qing's experience bar was full. The experience bar was full before the sea firefly's nest was copied. This efficiency, I love it. Lu Qing chose to upgrade without hesitation. The huge and gentle energy instantly spread all over his body. The purple light on his body became more intense. After a few minutes, the promotion was completed. Race: High-level Mantis. Form: High Void Harvester, 4672 5 millionths. Skills: Void Severance Evolvable, Strength Increase 700%, with Void Strike. Void Crossing Evolvable, use the power of the void to move, moving speed 700%. Talent: Concealment, hide the body and breath according to the environment. Power of the Void, have a superficial understanding of the power of the void and can use it in battle. There is a slight change in body shape. The height of 10 meters before has now reached 12 meters, and after the big knife foot is stretched, it has reached a terrifying level of 18 meters. More power, faster flight. Coupled with the increase of the power of the void, whether it is power or flight, it is definitely unique below the super class. I am very happy to upgrade, but Lu Qing is a hard-working mantis. What late night or not, no one can stop me from working. So he started looking for the nest of sea fireflies again. The kind reminder echoed again on the seashore in the dark night. The big knife mantis is coming. Early morning. More than 30 sea fireflies gathered on the seashore. They cursed. Robber mantis. Robber mantis. Shameless mantis. The 32 energy cores I used to find females were plundered like this. How can I live in the future? We should organize and conquer this hateful mantis. Yes, unite. Only by uniting can we avoid being bullied by this alien species. Unite. Create the glory of our sea fireflies. Well, our organization will be officially established in the future. Give it a name. We must give so many sea fireflies a cool name. Then call it the Gila Group. I agree, it's cool and meaningful. The Gila Group was officially established. There were only more than 30 in the morning, but by the evening it had grown to 50. The Gila Group has a unified goal. Guard the fruits of labor and drive away the mantis. More than 50 sea fireflies gathered together and quickly opened a super cave at the foot of the mountain as a nest. What they didn't know was that on the other side of the hill, there was an honest mantis resting on a big tree. Digging a hole is nothing to them, and it was completed in the afternoon. So many sea fireflies need to eat. They digest quickly, and they can't miss any of their 3 meals a day. After a long morning of fighting against the mantises, they started to complain about hunger as soon as they had some free time. So they split up into teams again and went into the sea to fish. The results of more than a dozen teams were still very significant. By the evening, more than 20 fat sea fish had been caught. After a delicious meal, these fireflies began to assign night watch tasks. In the end, the 3 smallest fireflies became night watchers. The other fireflies had already entered the super cave to rest, but these 3 could only look at the starry sky bitterly. This is clearly bullying the 3 of us. I was bullied by the mantis before the Gila group was established. After the Gila group was established, I was bullied by my own kind. Wasn't the Gila group established in vain? It's the same. We don't have to go into the sea to hunt, and it's easier. The smallest one held his paw and looked in the direction of the cave. What's the same? We can eat and sleep. Who can stand it at night? I can stand it. The largest of the 3 was full of confidence. An hour later, all 3 night watchers were fast asleep. In the dark, a creature holding a big knife came over. Lu Qing understood instantly after seeing this super hole. More than 50 of them gathered together. The worker bugs knew that they were too tired to run around, so they gathered together to work for themselves. I was so touched. If I could cry, Lu Qing would be so touched now. The worker bugs are so particular. Such a good sea firefly, I can't let it down. So Lu Qing came to the 3 night watchers who were fast asleep. He kicked one of them with his secondary foot. The sea firefly was sleepy, and it couldn't wake up if it didn't make much noise. Lu Qing used a little force and used the knife foot to lightly shake the 2 big beetles. The confused sea firefly woke up and saw the mantis and the giant knife. The timid one was so scared that he froze on the spot and forgot to remind his companions. It's not okay to be dazed. The big knife foot stuck in the soil in front of it. The mantis is coming, shout. Ah, shout, transmit the sound, use force, the big knife mantis is coming. The night watcher who reacted tried his best to transmit the sound to remind. Brothers, the big knife mantis is coming, get up quickly. The 2 next to him woke up the fastest. Under the gaze of the 3 night watchers, Lu Qing's figure gradually disappeared in the darkness. Soon, more than 50 sea fireflies rushed out of the super cave. Brothers, the time for revenge has come. Where is it? Where is the mantis? The 3 night watchers pointed their blade-like forelimbs in the direction where Lu Qing disappeared. Here, it disappeared in a flash. There is a kind of fish in the sea that has the ability to be invisible, so the temporary leader, Big Head, immediately reacted. This mantis may have the ability to be invisible. He must not have gone far. Let's spit fire together and let him see how powerful our sea fireflies are. Yes, spit fire. If we can't burn him to death, we will scare him to death. More than 50 sea fireflies spit fire. How spectacular. The whole beach was full of scorching flames. Lu Qing was not scared to death because he had already dived into the super cave. The cave was very large. Their blade-like forelimbs built the cave very flat. In the corner, Lu Qing found 24 energy cores. The energy cores were very fresh, and you could tell at a glance that they were just taken out today. Of course, these sea fireflies will also eat energy cores, but they can't even eat 1/20th of them every day. Blindly exploiting is not advisable. So Lu Qing picked out the 2 that had been gnawed and added 2 more. The remaining 20 were stuffed into Lu Qing's mouth like eating melon seeds. Melt in the mouth. Experience increased slightly. Satisfied, Lu Qing spread his wings and flew out of the super cave. The fireflies outside were still spitting fire. Lu Qing flew into the air and kindly reminded. Don't be too tired, you still have to fish tomorrow, rest early. So considerate, so angry. The temporary leader Dadu turned his butt towards the air. But before he turned around, Lu Qing had disappeared into the night. They can't fly, so naturally they can't chase him. He runs fast. Humph, this time he should know how powerful our sea fireflies are. Let's go back to the cave and have a good sleep. Back in the cave, all dumbfounded, the energy cores just harvested today were looted again. leaving only 4 out of more than 20. Big Head stamped his feet. It seems we have been tricked into leaving the cave. Cunning, too cunning. I didn't expect there are Zerg in this world whose intelligence is comparable to our sea fireflies. I just got the energy core, and it's been stolen again before I even warmed it up. I'm so angry, I want to stab him to death. Lu Qing didn't get the energy core for nothing. He also had to help the newly formed Gila group to make them stronger. In one night, he beat up all the sea fireflies that didn't join the Gila group and took away their energy cores. Too weak, you should gather together, so that I will be afraid and dare not provoke you. There is a Gila group under the volcano, they are powerful in groups, you can consider joining. This foreign reminder makes sense. They believed it. Before dawn the next day, these fireflies began to look for Gila groups near the volcano. As for those fireflies that refused to listen, Lu Qing visited them twice in a row and taught them a lesson. They knew what it meant to be alone and weak. So under Lu Qing's deliberate operation, the fireflies changed from small groups to large groups. The super cave was expanded again, and there was a thriving scene. Your entire tribe has been gathered together to become the strongest force on the island. It is reasonable for me to collect a small reward. More than 350 fireflies can produce 170 to 200 energy cores in a day. Almost 600,000 experience points can be provided in a day. Of course, Lu Qing is not so evil as not to leave them alone. More than 20 sea fireworms can consume 1 energy core in one day. The entire group can consume up to 20 pieces. Lu Qing only absorbed about 500,000 experience points. Beware of these sea fireflies every day these days. But they soon discovered that it was impossible to defend against an invisible mantis. He can't be beaten again and again, and he can't defend himself. If you get too angry, you might get beaten. What to do? The migrant workers who refuse to accept their fate are thinking of ways every day until this day comes. The sun is shining brightly. The sea was calm. Lu Qing was standing in the seawater practicing diving hard. The body structure of the mantis can swim, and even with the help of its large blade feet, the speed is not slow, but it cannot dive, let alone go deep into the seabed to fish. Of course, just swimming is useless. After all, the creatures in the sea only need a small dive, and Lu Qing can only stare. With practice, he could expel the air from his abdomen to gain some depth. But it's only 10 meters at most. This depth is obviously not enough. After practicing, float up. As soon as he exposed his triangular head, he felt that the bright sun was blocked. Looking closely, an eagle flew across the sky. Race, Thunderhawk. Form, Ultra Thunder Method. Talent, Thunder and Lightning have an understanding of the elements of thunder and lightning, and can use thunder and lightning to defend against enemies. Special movement guidance is required. Talent, Swiftness has some understanding of the power of wind, can dive and attack faster. Double talent, does that thunder fire need guidance in action? I'm familiar with this. I even had a warm one last time. But the opponent is a thunder eagle. As long as it is an eagle, it represents ferocity. Its wings spread 20 meters, and its sharp claws and iron hooks are probably 3 meters long. If this happens, I have the experience of working insects as my backing, and I earn hundreds of thousands every day. There is absolutely no need to chase an eagle blessed with the power of wind. So Lu Qing ignored the other party and continued to practice his diving. Mantises really have no talent for diving. But it popped up again 2 minutes later. Maid, now I really want to turn myself into a prawn. Just when Lu Qing was lamenting the helplessness of the mantis facing the seawater, he suddenly heard a movement. 3 sea fireflies lay on the beach basking in the sun. Fishing is 4 hours a day, and the rest of the time is spent either eating, sleeping, or basking in the sun. They have no natural enemies, the resources here are unimaginably rich, and of course life is comfortable. A sea fireworm scratched its belly and said, I feel like our newly elected leader is not very good. He can't stop that hateful mantis at all. The other one hummed, it's not that the leader can't do it, but that mantis is too cunning. HMPH, one day we will think of a way to deal with it, and then turn him into a roasted mantis. What's that black spot over there? Seabirds, there are them every day, what's so strange about them? Why don't I feel like a seabird? Seabirds only eat fish and have no interest in them. So they are not worried. Even if it is brought to the mouth of a seabird, it will never eat it. But as the black shadow got closer, one of them made a startled sound. It's not a seabird, it's an unknown flying bird. They have never seen an eagle, so naturally they don't recognize it. But still not worried. These strange races have been coming quite frequently recently. I haven't seen a strange race in the past few months, but 2 of them have appeared in just a few days. It doesn't matter, we see fireworms are the strongest anyway. Hey, that bird seems to have come down. No, it seems like it's really coming down, so fast. The thunderhawk recipe is very extensive. In short, if it is edible, it will eat it. It doesn't know how to fish and has to be careful about the giant monsters in the sea. It flew for 7 days without eating any food. So after seeing 3 bugs on the beach, I launched a surprise attack without hesitation. Blessed by the power of wind, it is extremely fast. Swooping down with the afterimage, his sharp claws pierced the head of a sea fire insect in an instant and then took off again. The other 2 saw their partner being killed instantly and immediately raised the alarm. Enemy attack, enemy attack. After being tortured by Lu Qing, the sea fireworm had already been trained to react extremely quickly. Nearly 100 sea fire bugs swarmed up. They had no ability to fly. At most, they could spit fire and use the reaction force to lift up to dozens of meters in the air. At this distance, how could he possibly catch up to the lightning-fast Thunder Eagle? I could only watch as the Thunder Eagle took its prey to the volcano. The Thunderhawk tore apart the sea fireworm. The energy core rolled to the ground. It did not eat the energy core because the huge energy in it was not something it could digest. For a hungry animal, meat is the first choice. Thunder Eagle discovered that the breast and abdominal meat of this insect was very delicious. So it only eats the delicious meat on the chest and abdomen. After eating all the food, Thunder Eagle was only 3/3 full. These bugs are slow to react. With their own attack speed, they don't even have time to react. They are really good prey. Then we'll stay for a few days, eat and drink enough, and then continue looking for the mainland. Thunder Eagle muttered a few words and looked sharply at the sea fireworms gathered on the beach. One more. It spread its wings and took off, and at the same time, the power of wind wrapped it, allowing it to swiftly pounce on the sea fireflies. The sea fireflies did not expect the opponent to be so fast. When they wanted to spit fire to defend themselves, it was too late. As the leader, Big Head, secretly cried out that it was over. Because the Thunder Eagle's target was it. Such speed, such sharp claws and beak. It must be dead. I just became the leader, and I haven't gotten over the addiction, but I'm already in danger. Big Head has accepted his fate. The Thunder Eagle doesn't care about being a leader or not, it only cares about whether it is fat or not. Obviously, this one is the fattest and should be the most delicious. The power of wind is exerted to the extreme, and its speed is also extremely fast. The claws are open, and it goes straight to Big Head. When it is only 20 meters away from Big Head, the Thunder Eagle feels that the air in front of it is suddenly twisted. Then a purple big knife suddenly chopped over. The Thunder Eagle's claws, which react quickly, collided with the purple knife. The sound of metal collision came from the air. The Thunder Eagle adjusted its body shape, unloaded the power, and then took a breath. What a strong sword foot! Lu Qing's figure appeared in the air. His whole body was shining with purple light. The Thunder Eagle was indeed very strong. He could fly stealthily and attack suddenly, and he could also let the opponent react. This agility and perception of danger were stronger than most races. The Big Head was completely dumbfounded. Facing the death that was approaching quickly just now, it thought of many possibilities. It thought that the big bird was not accurate and it had escaped by luck. It thought that there were sea fireflies who desperately blocked the fatal attack for its leader. It thought that there might be a quick reacting fellow tribesman who sprayed fire to drive the flying bird back. But it never thought that the mantis that had been bullying and taking advantage of them would actually save itself. Reborn Mantis, devouring flesh and blood to start infinite evolution. I rely on Krypton Gold to be invincible, page 134. It wasn't just the leader who was stunned. All the fireflies present were staring at the mantis surrounded by purple. What happened? Did this mantis save the leader? Didn't he bully us all day? Every day he tried every means to snatch the energy core from our nest. Why now? Lu Qing, can bully fireflies, but any other species can't. Lu Qing doesn't have time to explain anything to the fireflies now. The thunder eagle is a strong enemy. Its strength, speed, and even talent are not inferior to his own. In terms of surprise attacks, the thunder eagle should not be underestimated either. The best way to kill it without injury is to let the opponent guide out the energy core to activate the power of thunder. In what circumstances will the energy core be guided out to defend against the enemy? Of course, when you feel that the enemy is invincible. It is rare to throw a big move when you meet. After all, this method will also cause some damage to the energy core. So Lu Qing had to show his invincibility and force the opponent to use his ultimate move. The thunder eagle was suspended in the air, staring at Lu Qing with sharp eyes. Mantis, I didn't expect to meet a mantis here. You reminded me of the days when I ate mantis every day on the mainland. You are still the first advanced mantis I have seen. To be honest, mantis meat is not delicious, but I am interested in trying yours. Hesitation. This is what Lu Qing hates the most. He disappeared into the sky in an instant. The thunder eagle was not panicked at all. It has a keen perception ability and has a sense of the power of wind. Although the figure of the mantis disappeared, the airflow caused by the flapping of its wings did not disappear. It can clearly know the direction of the mantis. So its direction is always facing Lu Qing, who is moving. The opponent's constantly adjusted direction let Lu Qing know that the thunder eagle can perceive him through the talent of the power of wind. On the ground, his talent of hiding was very easy to operate. In the air, facing this thunder eagle with wind power, hiding was almost useless. Lu Qing appeared. The thunder eagle laughed. Haha, useless talent. Lu Qing's figure suddenly disappeared. This time it was no longer hiding, but dual skills were fully activated. With the help of the power of the void, it rushed straight to the thunder eagle like a purple lightning. The thunder eagle reacted quickly, and with the help of the wind power, it rushed straight to Lu Qing. When facing ground creatures, the thunder eagle would use its claws to attack. In the air, even if it was good at flying, it could not make its claws its main weapon. In this confrontation, the thunder eagle used its beak. Its beak was in the shape of a hook and was very sharp. Coupled with the speed of diving, it was like a supersonic missile. This attack posture was powerful, but its weakness was also very obvious, that is, it was too single. Lu Qing was very flexible. The blade foot slightly raised, changed direction, and rushed straight to the head of the thunder eagle. The fastest crossover would bring huge power. However, Lu Qing's blade cut off the iron feathers on the opponent's neck, cut through the fur, and was blocked by the hard skull after repeatedly unloading the force. The blade rubbed against the bones, making a sound like metal friction, and then crossed each other. The thunder eagle cried out in pain. When it turned around, its scalp and the feathers fell directly to the ground. Lu Qing turned around and looked at the thunder eagle 200 meters away. Hey, the thunder eagle has turned into a vulture. The thunder eagle immediately ran away. I am a thunder eagle, the ultimate thunder and lightning method, but I was scalped by a mantis. Unconvinced, it began to rise again and then dived down. Diving, the claws have room to display. This time I will definitely rip you open. The wish is beautiful, the reality is cruel. When diving down, Lu Qing's figure suddenly disappeared. This time he turned on the stealth and let it fall freely. Without flapping its wings, the thunder eagle could not sense where Lu Qing had gone in a rapid dive. And its dive speed was much faster than its natural falling speed. When the thunder eagle sensed that it had crossed paths with the mantis, it was too late. Lu Qing used both skills to strike out swiftly. You are stubborn, but I don't believe your neck is also stubborn. The thunder eagle saw the purple surrounded blade foot slashing towards its neck, and immediately felt the threat of death. Their thunder eagles' heads had already been tempered to be extremely hard during the dive, but their necks were weaker. With the strength of this mantis and the sharpness of the blade foot, if it was chopped on the neck, it would be seriously injured if not dead. In this case, it wanted to use its beak to resist. However, Lu Qing's speed was too fast, and the blade foot had already fallen before the eagle's beak arrived. The good news is that the hard skull can also be used to resist. The blade foot chopped firmly on its skull. The collision between the skull and the blade foot made a huge crash. Its skull was too hard. Even with the dual skills and Lu Qing's super strong slashing power, it still didn't break through, only leaving a mark. Although it didn't break through, the Thunder Eagle's brain, which was not big to begin with, was hit. It fell to the ground uncontrollably, creating a big hole in the mud and sand on the beach. Mantis, so fierce. Oh my god. Can we Zerg also cut down a big bird? This group of sea fireflies were all stunned. The Thunder Eagle is indeed very strong. It was hit by a knife, but it still stood up shakily. It shook its head and flapped its wings a few times as if it had drunk fake wine. The Thunder Eagle was angry. It was forced to this point by a Zerg today. It was unconvinced and prepared to take off for another strong collision. Lu Qing was suspended in the air. Seeing that the opponent stood up so quickly, he knew that the Thunder Eagle was really tough. Once it took off again, the opponent would be on guard, and the silky little combo would hardly work again. If it really came to a head-on collision, I would be lucky if I didn't suffer a loss. No, Lu Qing landed slowly. You are too slow. Too slow. You are not my opponent at all. The Thunder Eagle, who was about to take off again, was stunned for a moment and then became furious. I am not your opponent. That was because you attacked me by surprise. If it really came to a head-on collision, I can tear you apart with one blow. Come again. This time I'll show you how I can tear you to pieces. Too stubborn. The Thunder Eagle is getting stuck in a dead end. I chopped you silly with one blow. You have a talent for thunder. Wouldn't it be better if you spit out an energy core and use thunder to strike me so that I'm burnt on the outside and tender on the inside? Not smart. Not smart. This needs to be a reminder for it. Lu Qing's voice transmission was full of disdain. With you, it's useless to come 10,000 times. My sword is not afraid of an iron-headed kid like you. Unless you have the talent to attract thunder and spit out energy cores to explode, I'm invincible in heaven and earth. To tell you the truth, we mantises are most afraid of thunder and lightning. After listening to Mantis voice transmission, Thunder Eagle's cerebellum almost shut down. Mantises are afraid of thunder and lightning. It's like I am a Thunder Eagle with dual talents. Don't I have a special code? Yes, I have the talent for thunder, so why should I keep fighting at close range? Just strike him to death with lightning. Those sea fireworms were all dumbfounded. What's going on? Expose your weaknesses. Telling people clearly that you are afraid of thunder and lightning is so stupid. No intelligent Zerg could say such a stupid thing. Fortunately, this big bird doesn't carry thunder and lightning. Yes, otherwise this wouldn't be seeking death. Tisk, tisk, how did this IQ find a way to steal our energy core? However, the next second, lightning sparks appeared on Thunder Eagle's body. Holy crap, this big bird is really thunderous and cool. The Thunderbird spreads its huge wings. The eagle's beak pointed to the sky. Then its feathers were filled with tiny lightning bolts. Ha ha ha, you are out of luck, my Thunder Eagle happens to have the talent of thunder and lightning. Lu Qing was shocked. What? This is impossible, how could it be such a coincidence? Ha ha ha, you are the first to tell me your weaknesses. The Thunder Eagle opened its beak wildly. An energy core shining with thunder and lightning immediately separated from the body. The thunder and lightning became more solid and thick. Lu Qing's feet were trembling, and even his knife feet were shaking. It's over, it's over. Thunder Eagle felt increasingly proud. If I had known you were so afraid of thunder and lightning, I would have used it a long time ago. That's fine. It's not too late. Accept the baptism of thunder. No, no. Lu Qing's voice transmission was distorted, and there seemed to be a little bit of joy amidst the panic. Don't. Swallowed it in one gulp and it was numb. The powerful energy core is directly absorbed by the system. Get flesh value plus 36,821 points. Thunder Eagle was completely stunned, and his cerebellum almost crashed. Aren't you most afraid of thunder and lightning? If I read it correctly, give me one bite of your special code. Is that what you're afraid of? Afraid of getting into your stomach? No, between races, the weak can eat the strong. It didn't say that energy cores can also eat the strong. The group of sea fire bugs were all dumbfounded. They all thought Lu Qing was going to be cold. After all, he said he was afraid of thunder and lightning. As a result, he was eaten by the energy core. I know you like to eat energy cores, but I didn't expect you to forcefully eat them. How could it be so outrageous? But the good news is that Thunderhawk is dead. It would be a problem for the Thunderhawk to take off without the energy core. It shook its body extremely weakly, its wings resting on the sand. His originally sharp eyes looked confused. How can you eat it? Unreasonable, this is unreasonable. This was completely beyond its knowledge. Lu Qing burped. With wings spread, he was already in front of the opponent. Just kill him with a knife. The eagle's head fell to the ground, and until it died, it never understood why a mantis could directly eat its own energy core. Then Lu Qing hooked his sword and threw Thunder Eagle's body towards the sea fireworm 200 meters away. Leave it to you. Under the gaze of sea fire insect, Lu Qing left gracefully. The group of sea fireworms came to their senses and said, the powerful enemy has been dealt with. Why do I feel like this big bird was cheated? I feel the same way, as if I've experienced. Swallowing the energy core with thunder and lightning in one gulp will make this mantis so strong. How about, let's forget about our energy core. The leader climbed onto a rock. Everyone, be quiet. The first thing we should deal with now is this big bird. After all, it ate our good brother. I propose eating it. A swarm of sea fireworms surrounded Thunder Eagle's body and took a bite. Sigh, it tastes terrible. It's worse than a fat fish in the sea. Just throw it into the sea and feed it to the fish. But it was still early in the afternoon. The hard-working Lu Qing came to the seaside. I originally planned to continue practicing diving, but I didn't expect to see a fisherman. Anglers are a very peculiar type of insect. Its legs are covered with small suction cups that can be used to fix it on rocks. There is only one tentacle on the head, which is its fishing line. The length of the tentacles can reach about 50 meters and they are very tough. The forelimbs are relatively short and have two forelimb hooks to hook the antennae back. The most peculiar thing is that its ejection port is located on the abdomen. The spray port can spray out yellow sticky substance to achieve the purpose of making nests. Lu Qing is not interested in fish, but is very interested in fishing guys. He spread his wings and landed next to the fisherman. Race, threadworm. Form, medium fishing master. Talent, paralysis secretes toxins to paralyze the target. Talent, death coil. The use of tentacles is extremely subtle. Is this an Air Force guy, or is he a dual talent? What about fishing? The fisherman glanced at Lu Qing and didn't move. It was as if no matter how powerful the Zerg in front of it was, it couldn't affect its ability to fish. What a stable mentality. Another day in the Air Force. What words? The fisherman was instantly angry. What Air Force? I don't understand what you are talking about at all. Oh, then I'll repeat it again, you think about it. I said, another day of Air Force. The fishing worm frantically reeled in the line. Come on, I'll fight you for 300 rounds. Lu Qing spread his wings and flew into the air. You can fly, so why can't I say it? Before the fishing worm had any reaction, he flew away directly, leaving the fisherman jumping and cursing. Life on the island is very fulfilling. Every day, Lu Qing is either diving, charging in the nest of sea fireflies, or teasing the fishing worms. Since Lu Qing took action to get rid of the Thunder Eagle last time, the sea fireflies are not so repulsive to Lu Qing. Even when he went to get the energy core last time, a sea firefly pressed the energy core, and Lu Qing asked it to move, and it really moved. 7 days passed like this, and Lu Qing's experience bar was full again. After the upgrade, his body became a little bigger, reaching 13 meters, and his knife feet were also strengthened synchronously. Race, high-level mantis. Form, extreme void harvester, 6672 10 millionths. Skills, void severance evolvable, strength increase 800%, with void strike. Void crossing evolvable, use the power of the void to move, movement speed 800%. Talent, concealment, hide the body and breath according to the environment. Power of the void, have a superficial understanding of the power of the void and can apply it in battle. Experience increased from the previous 5 million to 10 million. This will also be the last hurdle for the high-level form. According to the current progress of brushing experience, the next stage will be reached in half a month. Another 3 days. Sunny day. Lu Qing, whose experience bar is steadily rising every day, is in a good mood and his diving time is getting longer and longer. This time, as soon as he emerged from the sea, he found that there was something abnormal in the direction of the volcano. It seems to be smoking. The volcano is smoking, which is not a good sign. Lu Qing did not bother diving anymore, and swam to the seashore with his sword in his hand. He got ashore and shook the water off his wings. Then he took off directly to the direction of the volcano. It is indeed smoking, although there is only a wisp. It seems that this is not a dead volcano, but an active volcano. The teleportation array is in the crater. When they arrived at the crater, more than a dozen sea fireflies and their leader Big Head were here. It's smoking, it's going to erupt. Spray, we Zerg can spray, but can't we make the volcano erupt? They turned their heads and saw Lu Qing when they heard the noise. After getting along for this period of time, they are too familiar with this foreign mantis. They all ignored Lu Qing and continued to lie on the edge to look at the crater. Lu Qing flew over and landed. Big Head leader, is this volcano going to erupt? Big Head responded without even turning his head. Yes, it's normal, it happens once every 10 or 8 years, there's nothing strange about it. Once every 10 or 8 years. This frequency is quite diligent for a volcano. The key is that I don't seem to see any obvious signs of volcanic eruption on this island. Aren't you afraid of volcanic eruption? Big Head finally turned around. What are you afraid of? There are many islands in the north. Just find one to stay for a few months, and then swim back to continue to be free and easy. There are still islands in the north, and there are quite a few of them. This is good news. One island can provide so many resources, and a few more. God will not treat the honest mantis badly. Lu Qing was a little anxious. When will we set off? Tomorrow. Big Head suddenly became alert. What do you mean we? Lu Qing's knife foot hooked the edge of the volcano on the side, and his head spread out in the air. You guys hide away, and I can't wait here to be burned. There is indeed magma underneath. Big Head immediately refused. You bully us all day long, and you want us to run away with you. You really think we are soft meat worms? Lu Qing's other knife foot touched Big Head's abdomen. It's not that I treat you as such, but you are really soft. Also, Big Head leader, look at what words are formed by the texture of my big knife foot. Lu Qing pointed the big knife foot at Big Head. There are patterns, but what words are they? How can a sea firefly recognize words? I don't know, I can't understand. Lu Qing explained. These are 2 words, reason. I am the most reasonable. If anyone threatens my life, I will use this big knife engraved with reason to reason with the other party. My reason is only within the blade. Big Head knew that this was a threat with his butt, and weighed their own strength. Forget it, if you can keep up, follow us, if you can't keep up, there's nothing to say. That's right, in fact. I already regard you as friends. If you hadn't been openly robbing our energy cores all day long and holding out your big knife to reason with me, I would have believed it. Big Head's head retracted from the crater. Based on my rich experience, it will erupt in 5 days, and we will leave tomorrow morning. After saying that, he left here with a group of younger brothers. Lu Qing lay on the crater and looked a few more times. A crack had already appeared in the bottom of the cave. A little red magma could be vaguely seen through the thick smoke. In fact, it is uncertain whether the magma can be ejected, but the volcanic ash is highly toxic, which is why the fireflies have to leave for several months. After looking at it for a few times, Lu Qing immediately retracted his body. The next morning, the sea fireflies have begun to move. Their energy cores were eaten by the kind-hearted Lu Qing, so they gathered on the coast with ease. Lu Qing also followed them here. You should also know our swimming speed. If you can't keep up, you can keep going north and you will see the island in about 2 days. The big-headed leader is still very particular. Lu Qing hummed, and then asked, is there any danger in this sea? No, there are a few medium-sized fish, but they are very slow, just a little bit around to get around, there is no need to pay attention to them. Medium-sized fish. How big is a medium-sized fish? Not big, more than 100 meters. Lu Qing. More than 100 meters you call a medium-sized fish. How about a large fish? Large fish are at least 200 meters. Fish are different from us Zerg. Large size does not necessarily mean strong strength. Lu Qing breathed a sigh of relief when he heard this. So it sounds like medium-sized fish should not be strong. What strength does a medium-sized fish have? Starting from the super form. Lu Qing almost couldn't help but draw his sword and talk to it. Starting from the super form, you still say that strength is not necessarily strong. Big Head, you are not honest. Okay, it's almost time, let's go. Big Head gave an order to the sea fireflies. Let's go. All the sea fireflies flew into the sea with their butts spitting fire. Lu Qing spread his wings and planned to fly in the air. He had seen the fireflies catching fish before. They were very fast, but not as fast as he could fly. It shouldn't be a problem to catch up. He just took off when he vaguely heard the voice transmission from the Big Head. Brothers, we have been waiting for Lu Qing for a long time. Get rid of the evil mantis, happiness is in front of us, everyone. Go to the islands at full speed. At first, Lu Qing didn't take it seriously, but when the fireflies sprayed fire and skipped water close to the sea surface, Lu Qing was stunned. Fishing in the water has a limited speed, and I can catch up. But this is not fishing, but hurrying. Sticking to the water surface, in the way of skipping water. That speed, even the afterimage is slipped out. And with several times of fire spray acceleration, their speed has been getting faster and faster. But in the blink of an eye, the dense sea fireflies have become a distant line. Lu Qing hurriedly chased at full speed. After chasing for less than 10 minutes, he had to slow down. This group of goods floated too fast on the sea. His endurance from the skill could not last long, and it was almost impossible to catch up. There was a vast sea under his feet. Lu Qing could only use the sun to determine the direction and continue on his way. As for how many days it would take to get there, the leader said 2 days, but that was based on their speed. For me, 4 days would be considered fast, and that was on the premise that I didn't get lost. There was no place to land on the sea. My flying burst was okay, but I didn't know if I could survive even if I flew continuously. The sunset dyed the sea golden. In the air, Lu Qing flapped his wings mechanically, and when he was tired, he glided for a distance to sustain his flight. The flight was okay, but the speed was reduced again. Reducing the speed was better than landing directly on the sea to rest. After all, there might be super-sized monsters in the sea to attack. Just as the sunset was about to fall, Lu Qing vaguely saw a small island. Lu Qing, who was originally tired, instantly became energetic. Is there an island? He looked carefully. Although it was dark, you could still see the outline of a small island. There is a small island where you can take a rest. Lu Qing immediately flew towards the island. The island is not very big, about 300 meters in diameter, and has 3 steep peaks. There is a layer of green seaweed growing on the ground of the island. There are big rocks everywhere. After Lu Qing fell down, he took a moment and drained out the accumulated fluid. After he finished arranging, he found a stone to lie down on. As soon as I lay down, I seemed to hear my heartbeat. Why is there a heartbeat here? Lu Qing stood up suddenly, and his sword feet popped out. But it was quiet all around. Did you hear wrong? They are all in advanced form. How could I hear it wrong? Lu Qing hesitated for a moment, then leaned down and pressed against the stone. There was a slight vibration and the sound of pulsating body fluids. This stone is alive. Lu Qing immediately started checking the system. What stone it was clearly a huge barnacle. Race, Hawaiian barnacle. Form, primary adsorber. Talent, absolute defense. Defense is the first factor for barnacles to survive. Talent, super adsorption. Adsorption ability is enhanced. Barnacles with dual talents. Lu Qing smiled. What a stroke of luck. In this case, experience packages can be encountered. Flower rock barnacles have super strong defense capabilities. Lu Qing slashed with the foot of his sword. Sparks flew everywhere, but not a single bit of debris fell off the barnacle's back rock. All races have weaknesses. Barnacles are no exception. Its defense is super strong, and its super form is helpless, but there are small gaps in its adsorption points. Ordinary creatures are helpless when faced with such a small gap. But Lu Qing is a mantis. What a machete with a length of more than 10 meters is best at is prying open the opponent's suction cup. Lu Qing put the tip of the knife in and tilted it up. He heard a wave, without even using his maximum strength. The barnacles were also pried over instantly. Once turned over, the soft flesh is directly exposed, and the knife can easily kill it. However, before Lu Qing's blade touched the barnacle, he heard a strange sound. It hurts, it feels good. Then the whole island trembled a few times. Lu Qing hurriedly adjusted his body shape and flew into the air. And the barnacle fell into the sea. Lu Qing looked through the moonlight that had just come out. A huge head shook back and forth. It was clearly a turtle with a horn on its head. It makes a sound that is somewhat similar to the braying of a cow, which is painful and pleasant at the same time. That's the turtle's head, so the island is actually the turtle shell. Lu Qing pried off the barnacles attached to the turtle shell, so the giant turtle felt both pain and pleasure. The turtle's head turned around, eyes facing each other. A lazy voice came. Mantis, how did the mantis get here? Lu Qing did not respond immediately, but checked the other party's information. Race, water-horned giant turtle. Ultimate form, extreme sea-traveling mountain. Talent, giant can grow indefinitely, but the growth rate is relatively slow. Talent, waterbending, have a certain ability to control the water element. Ultimate form, above the super form is the ultimate form. It's 2 levels higher than me. Did you meet a big boss when you went out? Lu Qing immediately responded. The ancient teleportation array sent me here. The giant turtle's head turned back, so that's it. No wonder. Little mantis, would you like to do me a favor? Pry all the barnacles off me. Lu Qing asked curiously. How can you, a boss in the ultimate form, still not be able to deal with a little barnacle in an advanced form? There was a wry smile in the giant turtle's voice transmission. One thing defeats another. Although I am powerful, barnacles are not afraid of being washed away by water. In addition, my limbs are short. Even though I have tens of billions of strength, there is nothing I can do. 2. The giant turtle is powerful, but it has no way to deal with the barnacles that are like dog skin plaster. In addition, the barnacle has an absolute defensive talent, and it is even harder to find helpers who can pry it away. When Lu Qing heard this, he immediately said, I am the most warm-hearted. I will definitely help if I can help, but if you have any conditions, just tell me. In order to avoid the volcano on the island, I am going to the archipelago for refuge, and I have made an appointment with my close friend Sea Fireworm. If it is convenient for you, can you carry me there? This is the boss in his ultimate form. There are many dangers in the sea, and there may be any dangers. Once you agree, you will be your bodyguard. With such a strong bodyguard, it is absolutely appropriate for him to escort himself to the islands. Moreover, I can rest on its back, avoiding the fatigue of flying. The price is just that you can dig up barnacles and get energy cores to gain experience. Kill 3 birds with 1 stone. The giant turtle agreed without hesitation. The islands, I know there, no problem. But I swim slowly on the sea. It doesn't matter if it's slow or not, Lu Qing is not in a hurry anyway. After reaching an agreement, the giant turtle was not in a hurry and said he would wait until tomorrow. Lu Qing fell on his back. Now that we know this is not an island but a giant turtle, the thing on its back is not a steep mountain, but a weapon, a back sword. I took a quick look at the barnacles on the giant turtle's back. Wow, they are densely packed. It is estimated that there are no less than 1,000. It is estimated that removing all these barnacles can get more than 2 million experience points. Lu Qing set a goal first. 100 tonight. I don't know what the principle is, as long as Lu Qing pries up a barnacle, the giant turtle will make a strange sound. So from time to time, on the sea surface at night, there will be a muffled groan like an old cow panting, painful and happy. Bo, it hurts, comfortable. Single quote. Early morning. When the golden sunlight filled the calm sea, the giant turtle finally started today's itinerary. The giant turtle raised its head and moved forward, and the seawater was squeezed to both sides, like a sailing ship. After Lu Qing ate an energy core for breakfast, he sat on the barnacles to rest. Big brother, you are so big, how old are you? It's been so long, I don't remember clearly, but it should be 1,000 years. For the giant turtles in this world, 1,000 years old is in their prime. Then what form of the strongest you have seen in this world? What tribe? Lu Qing can only understand the ultimate form now, and he doesn't know what's higher. If there is a chance, he will naturally learn about it through the 1,000-year-old giant turtle. The giant turtle thought for a while. The strongest I have ever met is the Kun tribe. I saw an underage Kun more than 100 years ago. At that time, it was already the extreme stage of the ultimate form. Although it is young, its strength is similar to mine. After it grows up, it will definitely break through the ultimate form. The giant turtle continued. The natural gap between races is huge. The childhood stage of their natural growth is a height that most races cannot reach in their entire lives. What is above the ultimate form? Above the ultimate form. The giant turtle fell into a brief silence. I don't know, but I can be sure that once the ultimate form is broken, some divinity will be touched. Divinity. Can the Zerg become gods? This is a bit primitive. Since there is divinity, then there should be gods in the world, right? The giant turtle immediately laughed when he heard it. Ha ha ha, I don't know about that. Anyway, I have never seen it, but our giant turtle tribe has a legend. When the 9 stars in the sky are connected in a straight line, the gods will come and the gate of heaven will open. Then a road to becoming a god will open. The giant turtle tribe originally had a very high lifespan, so it is normal to pass down some mysterious legends. After the conversation, Lu Qing started to get busy. There are still 900 barnacles, and brushing experience is the right way. Otherwise, when you arrive at the archipelago, the experience is not finished, it will be wasted. The barnacles have super strong defense, but no attack power at all, so it can be said that there is no risk. Lu Qing rushed to aim the big knife at the barnacles. After prying open 2 in a row, a faint voice came. Don't rush to do it, let's chat. The voice came from the barnacle. Because of the heavy shell, the sound transmission was a little weak. Lu Qing did not hesitate at all. Chat your sister, what if you get emotional? This thing is not easy to deal with if it has feelings, so Lu Qing chose to be a mantis that refuses to chat. He quickly dug out the energy core in the barnacle and threw it into the sea. Lu Qing, who refuses to chat, is very efficient. By the evening, 300 barnacles had been dug out, plus the 100 dug out last night. There are about 600 on the back of the giant turtle. More than 400, the experience value has also increased a lot, estimated to be as much as 1 million. In addition to the previous relief of the sea fireflies on the island, his experience bar has now exceeded 1/5. The super form is just around the corner. At this time, the giant turtle's swimming speed has slowed down. Its daily routine is very regular. As long as the sun sets, it will not move at all. Its diet is also very simple. After stopping, the giant turtle used water control and blew out in one breath, forming a vortex in the sea water. Then all the fish within 100 meters were wrapped in the sea water and entered its mouth. Other creatures dare not eat the energy core in one bite, but the ultimate form of the giant turtle does not have so many concerns. As long as it enters its mouth, there is nothing that cannot be digested. Lu Qing understood after seeing this scene. No wonder the giant turtle can grow so big, this thing is not picky about food. A calm night. It's the 5th day. The sea surface is still full of water, and there is no outline of the archipelago. Lu Qing fell from the sky. Did I take the wrong road? It's the 5th day. How can I not see the outline of the archipelago? The giant turtle maintained its forward speed. Little guy, how could I take the wrong road? I'm almost there, don't worry. The barnacles have been cleared. How can Lu Qing not be anxious without a source of experience? But there is no way to be anxious. It's easier than flying by yourself. Lu Qing didn't say anything else, found a cool place, and began to rest. In the afternoon, I heard the giant turtle's voice in a daze. There was some excitement in the voice. Sister Tang Jiao, you are here. Tang Jiao, what's going on? Lu Qing flew up and was speechless. It was another giant turtle. The difference was that the color of this giant turtle was more beautiful and the outline was softer. Lu Qing instantly understood what was going on. It must be that the old pervert noticed that his kind was nearby, so he came from afar to pick up girls. No wonder he couldn't make it. He came here to pick up girls, how could he make it to the archipelago? Old pervert, you said you were going to be quick this morning. I hope you were really quick. The 2 giant turtles touched their heads. Brother Shui, what a coincidence. How could it not be a coincidence? They traveled across the ocean to see you, they are so treacherous. If Lu Qing had any eyes, he would definitely give them a few. This is fate. Sister Jiao, we are so destined. Tang Jiao seemed to have discovered the bright shell of her brother Shui. Brother Shui, your back is so beautiful, there is not even a barnacle. Barnacles are a problem for all giant turtles. There are fewer on Tangjiao, probably hundreds of them. Ha ha ha, I met a little guy on the road. This little guy is a little weak but a good assistant in repairing barnacles. Wait a minute, I'll ask him to clear the barnacles for you. Little Mantis, come out and show your face. Lu Qing flew out from behind the sword peak. Aren't we going to the archipelago? Why are we here? The giant turtle was a little embarrassed. Hey, isn't this a coincidence to meet a good friend? I don't believe you. Coincidence? What do you think the old pervert is thinking? How about this, you clear the barnacles off my sister Zhao's back, and I can take you to the archipelago tomorrow. Lu Qing, the old pervert really thinks I'm a fool. With your clingy energy, tomorrow. Can I trust him without fighting for 3 days and 3 nights? The old pervert is no longer reliable. Lu Qing flew directly into the air. Forget it, I'll find it myself. He also knew the general direction and would be able to reach it within a day or 2. Don't fly away, come down, I promise to send you there. How could Lu Qing still believe it? Pull it down quickly, I won't bother you anymore. You can continue to have fun. Lu Qing continued to rise into the air and look down at Tang Jiao. Actually, you, Brother Shui, are really good at it. The giant turtle raised its head. Hey, you're really leaving. Lu Qing flew away without even looking at it. You can still vaguely hear their conversation. The little mantis is only small. Brother Shui, you can take a picture of it with just one waterbending move. Brother Shui, I'm so loyal. We're all friends, how can we do that kind of thing? Leave him alone, let's talk about the barnacles on your back. It's so pretty to have barnacles on such a beautiful back. It's uncomfortable even to wear it. Brother Shui, you are so loyal. What should I do with the barnacles? I can't remove them. I have a way. I can take it off for you, and with the help of water bending, there will be no problem. But our giant turtle tribe has short limbs and it is difficult to get close, unless I climb on your back. Well, then it's up to you, Brother Shui. Turning around, he saw 2 giant turtles stacked on top of each other. Chuanian Zhao Didi said, "Oh, aren't you picking barnacles? Why are you?" Lu Qing turned his head back angrily. Pooh, disgusting, so disgusting. At first I thought this giant turtle was mature and stable, but when I saw the female, my brain shifted directly to the tail. Angrily, Lu Qing sped up and moved forward. Flying in the air also has certain risks. For example, at night, Lu Qing, who had just slowed down, found a fish flying towards him. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.